To be sane, he held, was either to be sedated by melancholy or activated by hysteria, two responses which were always and equally warranted for those of sound insight. All others were irrational, merely symptoms of imagination left idle, of memories out of work. And above these mundane responses, the only elevation allowable, the only valid transcendence, was a sardonic one, a bliss that annihilated the universe with jeers of dark joy, a mindful ecstasy. Anything else in the way of mysticism was a sign of deviation or distraction, and a heresy to the obvious. Thomas Legatti, The Medusa. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Public Access, a horror game set in 2004 in the fictional town of Deep Lake, New Mexico, with our players investigating the missing public access station TV Odyssey, as well as some other fun weirdness in the area. As a content warning, this game contains cosmic horror, graphic violence, ritual sacrifice, sexual desire, childhood trauma, and consumer culture. And our current active mysteries also add thalassophobia, drowning, mind control, stalking, and surgical horror. So viewer discretion is advised. Some special thanks, real quick. First to Lilabs VT for helping help me make the intro video, and to Rachel for giving me this place and time and producing for me. Um, that being said, lovely players, would you introduce yourselves?
Hi, everybody. I'm Ben Ravensdale. I'm going to be playing a character named Declan, a night security guard who really would just rather be doing his boring job, night security guarding, than babysitting a bunch of grown-ass adults who can't seem to make good decisions.
Hello, I'm Jane. I will be playing Lottie Larkin, uh, who is who is gradually becoming more confident and self-assured, just not in the way she wants to. It's just not in the way she was hoping.
Hello, everybody. I am Rachel, aka Stolen Fires. I am she, her, and I play Isabeau Sanders, the former poor kid who made good and is now sort of processing a lot of her childhood trauma by coming back here in healthy and unhealthy ways.
Hi, I'm Steph. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Kato Fabiani, resident disaster and all around bad person.
And I am your keeper, and my pronouns are she, they, they. You can find me pretty much everywhere Speak Cthulhu. So now that we've all introduced ourselves, and thanks to the wonderful Rachel, we have a summary. Ben, would you be so kind as to read last session's summary?
Absolutely. I'm going to give everybody a little bit of a warning. Make sure you're comfy, make sure you have something to drink and a snack, because this is going to be, it's going to take a couple minutes. So, we flash back to Lottie and her family, not long after they moved to Deep Lake. Their first time going out as a family here was to, well, visit the lake. They didn't have a lake back home, so they decided to enjoy the one that was here. Everyone had a great time, especially Lottie. Back in the modern day, however, Lottie was struggling with some intrusive thoughts, telling her to kiss Cato. But now it's dawn. Isabeau, in a perhaps ill-informed decision, decides it's a good night for a booty call at the Larkin residence. One fade to black later, Isabeau is doing her best to sneak away in the morning without having to talk to anyone. Lottie, however, spots her and is rather pleased by the turn of events. Rewind. Cato. She's removed all the identifying data from her motorcycle. She's out to get Benjamin. Please note that is not me, Ben. That is Benjamin, an NPC in the game, and it's an important distinction to make. He barely has enough time for his shot to turn to terror before he gets a motorcycle tire to the head. Cato doesn't even stop to check on him. She drives away to a DIY car wash. In the morning, Isabeau is offended to see Declan passed out with a half-full red solo cup of her favorite bourbon. She's not upset that he drank the bourbon, just that he drank it out of a red solo cup. Well, waste not, want not. She pours the leftover bourbon into her morning coffee while Cato and Lottie converge on the house after their own individual adventures. Lottie smirks at Isabeau, but says nothing. Cato invites people to join her on the patio for a smoke, and Isabeau says she'll join after a much-needed shower while Declan nurses his hangover from the couch. Lottie joins Cato on the patio, declining a cigarette. The two discuss issues of mental health and identity while having a moment together, Lottie talking about her experience being trans. Kato mentions her trans girlfriend, and that's when Lottie's intrusive thoughts take over. For her pains, Lottie gets a mouthful of clove smoke, and as she coughs, Kato tries to make sense of what just happened. Declan, rubbing his temples, gives his own commentary, something about it being easier to smoke a cigarette when you just smoke the cigarette rather than try to suck it out of somebody else's mouth or something along those lines. Isabeau is finished with her shower by this point and wanders downstairs. It's time to begin the day. Isabeau, Lottie, and Declan plan to investigate the radio station further, while Kato has errands to run. She picks up Cassie to run those errands together. Nostalgic music plays on the radio. Cassie is her childhood friend, so she's more than welcome here. But Cassie has a storied past, as her brother murdered everyone else in their family. Officer Barker plushies form a major part of the decor, along with an old video camera and cassettes of home movies. At the bottom of a pile of papers on her desk is a manila envelope with news clippings from her brother's case. Also in the room is an old diary, including some rather intense documentation of extended family. Cassie confronts Kato over planting a joint on her. After Kato calms her down, Cassie reveals that Benjamin is in the ICU. Kato can't help but meddle in response, and notices a strangely colored piece of paper. Cassie gets defensive when she sees Kato notice it, and there will be some unknown consequences for that later. Lottie asks Declan about his hickey, a blue mark on his neck, and Isabeau responded by turning up the music, or rather the news broadcast. Benjamin Castle, Cassie's little brother, has escaped, leaving a trail of bodies in his wake. The police are looking for anyone with information. Declan thinks he ought to call Kato and let her know. Isabeau and Lottie wander inside the radio station. There's some blue mold in the building. The station was shut down due to promoting dubious medical remedies, including a few boxes of organic bandages, and shitty off-brand supplements are still stacked in one corner, along with some New Age-themed cosmetics and bottle of used speed cream, whatever the hell that is. Lottie takes point in the investigation, moving carefully through the building. She stumbles across a package marked as medical waste, mostly trash, but Isabeau notices a deep blue crystal that seems to vibrate when she holds it. Her phone buzzes. It's from Chuck Jr. Isabeau Chuck Jr. being Lottie's brother and Isabeau's booty call. It's an important detail to note. Isabeau tries to hang up, but accidentally ends up answering the phone. Early 2000 cell phones. He's a little mystified as to why she left so soon. All she says is something about a busy day before pawning the phone off onto Lottie. Back outside, Declan phones Kato, who is busy pressing Cassie, who threatens mild blackmail before handing over a letter from Alan Gibson to Cassie's parents, warning them about the dangers of exposing their kids to Officer Barker. Declan's call interrupts the conversation, and he tells her about Benjamin, Cassie's younger brother, escaping, killing hospital staff and police officers alike. Kato immediately puts him on speakerphone and asks him to repeat himself. Realizing Cassie's in the room, he does his best to break the news gently, but Cassie still faints into Kato's arms at the news. Cut to a young Kato walking into her family apartment, letting herself in, making a beeline for her cassette tape collection. Carefully selecting a Dead Milkman tape, she brings her boombox out to the backyard to enjoy the music before setting up her homework on a TV tray. Back in modern day, Declan heads back inside the station, where Lottie is on Isabeau's phone with her brother. When Lottie's questions get personal, Isabeau steals the phone back, and Lottie gently suggests that Chuck still cares about her, which sets Isabeau off. She knew she had to leave town to avoid becoming a stuck-at-home housewife, and is angry that Lottie is judging her life choices. While she unloads, Declan slinks off to investigate the offices. He finds a flyer, which includes a photograph of Casey, a friend from a former case, on stage in the fetal position, while Dr. Cerulean is about to walk into frame. "See the doctor this summer," the copy screams. The date is from a decade ago. He mildly dissociates and makes his way back to where Lottie and Isabeau are arguing. There's a minor conflict over whether or not to watch an Odyssey tape. Isabeau suggests the station, but Declan disagrees. He also doesn't want to expose their child wards to the content of the tapes. Kato suggests taking the kids to the park at night, but Declan is rather scandalized by the idea. His priority is their physical and emotional safety. The group ultimately agrees not to watch a tape, but there is a mistake. Isabeau intends to show the kids a Disney movie before bed, but somehow an Odyssey tape finds its way into her hand and the VCR anyway. It's an awkward evening overall, as Declan starts micromanaging everything accurate. There's some mild bickering over which film to pick, but it doesn't actually matter whether they mean to show Sleeping Beauty, Robin Hood, Beauty and the Beast, or Treasure Planet. Treasure Planet was my vote. They end up watching Gorilla Makeover 12, Pure White Pretext, which begins with a series of disorienting cuts, a mashup of beauty shots with nameless hosts. They are precise beauties, well made up, speaking in breathy whispers as they introduce Gracie Richards, a housewife to be made over. Her hair is fried from an overuse of home dye jobs and perms, while time has made its mark on the laugh lines and crow's feet on her face. The hosts play up her sad home life and lackluster marriage, hoping this will give her the confidence to fix her relationship. Or leave it entirely. Another one points out her rough, scaly skin. The kids instantly know this isn't their promised Disney movie, but Isabeau recalls her earlier argument with Lottie and recognizes that this woman could very easily have been her. She wants to keep watching, bribing the kids with more popcorn. Lottie uses her electrician skills to fix the TV and VCR, or tries to. Everything seems resistant to being unplugged or messed with. While Isabeau prepares popcorn, she receives a text from her friend, boyfriend, lover, whatever you want to call him, Chuck. Is now a good time to talk? Isabel responds with something about putting the kids to bed, which piques his interest. She assures him they're not hers, or his. And outside, Kato enjoys a smoke and gentle flirtation with Cassie, who seems conflicted. But Kato mentions murder, in a rather awkwardly casual way. The conversation rapidly devolves as Kato feels called out. The tape progresses. It's clear the cosmetic artists ignore Grace's concerns over time and her other obligations. Lottie tries to comfort and reassure the children that the adults can handle anything creepy going on. As does Declan, but he somehow ends up vanishing? Elliot, the boy, can still see him, however. Meanwhile, Isabeau's phone rings. It's Chuck, once again. Isabeau does her best to explain, while somehow inviting him over. Meanwhile, Kato and Lottie have their own awkward conversation about their earlier interaction in full view of the kids. Declan interrupts by showing more of the Odyssey tape, which shows the makeup artists opening their case. They include construction and surgical tools, along with makeup brushes and stencils. A surgical Dremel whirs as Gracie tries to get away. A knock at the door interrupts the tape, and Isabeau answers. It's Chuck, of course. She brings him in and introduces him to the Rappaport kids. He's very thrown and drags Isabeau into the kitchen for a private conversation. Meanwhile, Cassie storms out angrily over how Kato has been treating her. Kato tries to explain, but it doesn't go well. Overhearing everything, Lottie tries to fix the situation, but somehow just makes it worse. She chases after Cassie, who is still angry. Now we cut to the chromatic desert. The colors are washed out. Elliot seems to understand what has happened and knows how to lead Declan back. Halfway, at least. The tape ends with an overmade and clearly puppeted Gracie saying that this is exactly what she needed. Elsewhere, Kato is in the parking lot. The vending machines are broken, and an ice cream truck jingles in the distance. And a karaoke machine. Kato explores, including seeing a bus she decides not to board. But there's something stuck in the door, a deed to a medical clinic, with the same address as Station 25.5. Back in the house, Isabeau and Chuck clearly aren't getting along. Chuck storms out, walking right through Declan. Also, I think I have to apologize. I think I pronounced Kato as Kato at one point. I apologize for the mistake.
Well, it is Kato.
Oh, it is Kato. Why do I keep thinking it's Kato? Wait.
Well, it's fine.
All right, thank you so much,
You just
Ben.
think it's pronounced like the Green Hornet character.
I guess.
Thank you, Ben, for reading the summary, and thank you, Rachel, for the amazing notes. So let's hop into our Dawn phase. Quick housekeeping things. I owed Kato a clue last week before Treat is out there. I forgot to do it. So what you get is a silver dollar. Instead of the heads and tails design, though, one side is a intense eyeball, and the other is that same eyeball, but the pupil has started. It's like caught halfway through mitosis, basically. So it's forming a second pupil.
That one goes immediately into Dog Told Me To. Are you kidding?
Okay, fair enough.
You said it was a sand dollar?
A half
But, like,
dollar.
Oh, a half dollar. I was like, how did a sand dollar get like two
Oh,
sides
that
like
would
a
be
coin?
really. I almost like the sand dollar better. It's fucking so weird.
Fuck it,
yeah.
it is now.
There, yeah,
I don't
so-
care.
Yeah,
Dollar
works for me.
Has dollar-like that has coin-like designs on each
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, I like that. It's weirder than what I said. Fantastic. And if you wanted to find your own clue for this session, Kato, that is
And,
fine by me.
Sand dollar in the desert.
And also, Elliot did find an Odyssey tape, and thanks to turning the key, did not wander off by himself and keep it hidden from you and watch it himself. So you also receive Pep 16 frowny face emoji, final pure white pretext Odyssey tape. I think that's every question. Sorry.
Sorry, what was that last one?
Pep 16 frowny emoji,
Oh,
final
it is.
pure white.
Okay.
It is frowny emoji, yes. Okay.
I was like, what the fuck is there? Is there an Odyssey tape I missed? I don't remember seeing any emojis. It's an analog one because obviously it's an analog one.
Yes, of course. So let's see. Don. All right. So no mystery was resolved. So no rewards need to be distributed. I will say, mystery-wise, Deep Lake Lurker was completely ignored last session, so I'm sure that's fine. You currently have, with that sand dollar clue, you have 3 clues for Dog Told Me To, which you can technically solve Dog Told Me To with that many. It'll just be at a big old negative. And then I think you have enough total. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. 7 clues for Station 25.5, which is enough to answer both questions and resolve it at +0 both. So yes. And as for the latchkeys themselves, looks like Kato's full up on conditions. Lottie has 2, Dekla has 2, and Ispo's doing well with 1. So, all right. So, speaking of Kato, Dawn questions. So we did not resolve mystery, so no one gets stuff from that. Did Kato receive a signal from their side? I don't think you had a prompt, but I think there was stuff in the tape that showed up in your life later. The surgical tools come to mind because you did have, until you turned a key anyway, have a surgical scene, but that was technically me doing it. I don't know if that counts. That's up to you.
I mean, if it's up to me, I'm gonna take the XP.
And take the XP. I'm just saying, like, that is sort of a signal from their side. It is something that appeared in
Right.
reality that was in the Odyssey tape, even though you didn't narrate it yourself. I think it counts. Were you vulnerable with someone?
Well, yeah. I mean, fucking smorching all over the place.
Yes, I would
let
say several
alone
times.
the rest
yes.
of it.
Yeah. Did you share a good memory from your childhood? I don't think so.
I don't.
You talked about you talked
more
about
of,
helping Cassie with like the family research. I'm not sure if that's necessarily a good childhood memory though. I guess that's another one that's like kind of.
I think that's a childhood memory to be sure.
Yeah, I don't know if it's good though. I'll leave that one in your hands as well if you think that counts as a good memory or not.
Nah.
Okay. All right. So Lottie, did you receive a signal from the other side?
I think I did. I did. Oh, there was a lot of weird signal phenomenon happening around Lottie, but
let me
she
look
didn't
at.
specifically get a but she didn't specifically get information she could act on.
Well, let me see let's see the prompts here. You had the second prompt. You described limbs and waistbound, worried about husband, home from work, kids out of school. Film equipment, and I could see. So I kind of see because like there's literal children in your house.
Oh,
while you're watching it, I could see that counting.
all right. Sure. Okay. I'll mark that one.
All right. Did you share a good memory from your childhood?
Maybe. What in the conversations with Kato?
So as a fellow trans person, you definitely talked about transness. So
Okay.
that to me is another. Is that a good childhood memory? Is it a good one to talk about
No,
the
not
difficulty of being
specifically.
trans?
No,
Yeah,
not
exactly.
specifically.
It had led to a good thing for
Yeah.
sure, but
Yeah.
it's probably not. Yeah. So I don't think so.
However, I am sure that she went out of her way to reconnect with Deep Lake based on everything that
I
happened.
yes,
And,
I 100% agree.
and
Well,
that's
that'll be
enough
in
for-
advance for you.
Okay. And I already know what latchkey move I want.
Well, I will have you tell us that when we have gone through the rest of these questions here. Isabeau, did you receive a signal from the other side?
I don't think so.
Look at your prompt for the Odyssey tape. You had the last one, intensely done up. Oh, actually, you did with your paint the scene question, because you said specifically you thought of yourself as Gracie because it
Oh.
could have been you in this situation. I would say that fully counts as a signal from the other side. Did you cut loose for once?
Not. I mean, she lost her temper with Lottie, but I don't think that counts as cutting loose.
I mean, I would personally count it.
Yeah, I would as well, but it's up to you if you wanted to count or not. If that's like enough for you to be considered cutting loose.
I feel like for Isabeau, cutting loose would be closer to just chilling the fuck out.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Did you deliver a chinny monologue that happened about something that happened to you in the past?
I did not.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say you definitely like. I don't know if it was chilling for Isabeau to talk about the hypothetical life she would have had in Deep Lake, but yeah, I don't think it counts.
Yeah, she didn't really talk to anybody about that or like give a monologue about that.
Yeah, I was more on the phone with Chuck while that happened.
Yeah.
All right, Declan, did you receive a signal from the other side? I'll look at your prompt as well.
I don't. I'm not sure. If I'm honest. The signal from the other side thing is still eluding me, like a firm grasp of exactly what that means.
Sure. So I will do my best to explain it, and if Steph might be able to step in and explain it as well, since she has experience as well. Basically, when you watch an Odyssey tape, you either need to narrate something into the tape that is in your actual physical space or has happened to you that day. Like, say you saw some kids doing something creepy with like a red tricycle, and then you narrated a red tricycle into the Odyssey tape. Or the reverse, which is something in the Odyssey tape you see in your side scenes between the tape prompts. If that makes it clearer.
It can also be subtle things like themes that have been prevalent in an episode.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, I will say, like, it was unintentional again on your part, I think, but there was a big surgical theme in that last week's episode, and you definitely narrated surgical tools into your prompt. So I would kind of say that counts, just thematically wise.
Sure, I'll go with that.
But yeah, that is the way to guarantee it is to do something very overt, like said thing in tape is now in reality, or vice versa.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it can be a little more ephemeral as well. I'm pretty lenient about that stuff. Did you deliver a chilling monologue about something that happened to you in the past?
I don't think I did.
Hey, I can't. Nothing comes to mind for me either.
Nope.
Were you vulnerable with someone? I'd say yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I think with a lot of different NPCs, I think yeah. Elliot in particular stands out for me, but yeah, I would say big yes. All right, so if anyone has gotten advanced, go ahead and do that. Lottie, you said you know what latchkey move you're taking?
Yes.
Go ahead and tell us what it is and what it does, please.
Oh, her technical skills are about to become even more more useful because she took the move Robot in Disguise. Add the following. Yeah, you came into Deep Lake with an array of electronic gadgets. Add the following to your corner of the house: laptop, walkie-talkies, GPS, camcorder, and voice-activated audio recorder.
All right, go ahead and do so. I think that is all of our Dawn stuff. I don't need to add a new mystery because we are full up. I don't think I'm owed any keys that I'm aware of. I think we nailed them all in the moment last session, unless, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're good. So we are going to move into the day phase, but it is still going to be the events of this evening because we had 4 big old cliffhangers happen. So we are going to pick up in the quote unquote day phase, which will be at night.
That mean day moves? Does it?
Yeah, sure, of course. It'll just be day moves. Everything will be fine. All right, so we're going to pick up with Isabeau. Isabeau, Chuck Jr. has stormed out. Not that you can see this, but passes through Declan. Leaves the house. Shortly afterwards, you get a text from him. It says simply, "Sorry, I lost my temper. I'm gonna go for a swim to cool my head."
This is such a bad idea. Do you want company?
Just smiley face emoji gets sent back.
Isabeau goes to grab her towel.
Okay, so I will say that timing wise, as you get that text and you pass in the living room, I forgot what Declan was saying at the end of last episode specifically, but I did narrate that Declan did appear on the TV and was talking to Casey, Elliot, and Abigail. So I think as you walk through the room, you hear Declan's voice coming from the TV and see Declan talking from the TV to the kids in the room. What do you do?
Declan?
If I may, I think Declan was actually also talking to Casey. Casey was there, and he was specifically showing.
Yes,
like,
Casey, not Cassie. Sorry,
yeah,
Cassie had left the house.
Yeah, showing the flyer with Casey in the fetal position being walked up on.
Yes, yes, there we go. Thank you,
Yeah.
Thank you, Steph.
So yeah, Declan's got the flyer thing like kind of pushed up against the TV screen, and he's telling Casey, he's saying, okay, so this doc, like, he's trying to like point, but he can't, like, this doctor guy, he changes hands. Like, I saw this guy outside the window of the house the other day, freaked me the hell out. I thought I was just imagining things, but this isn't a coincidence. There's no way this can be a coincidence. Like, you need... Isabeau, where the fuck are you going? It's not super common for Declan to swear. I'm just gonna point that out.
You're the one stuck in a TV.
Yeah, but I'm not going anywhere. Where are you going? No, you know what? I'm sorry. You're an adult. I can't tell you not to go anywhere. But if I was there right now, I would be very insistent that you not leave the fucking house.
Okay, can we put a pin in my nighttime activities and address the fact that you're in the television? Do you need help?
Yes, I'm stuck in a television.
What?
Elliot pipes up, like, just kind of commentating. He's in, like, the halfway place.
Do you know how to get him out?
Elliot thinks, I mean, you had to help get us out of, like, the further place. He's, like, the halfway place.
Alright, Declan, what do you see?
I mean, like, he kind of, like, steps back from the screen. I imagine it's, like, a mirrored, like, living room of the house.
Yep. I
Says,
mean, you tell me what it looks like when you're talking to the TV. To be perfectly honest, it's your chromatic desert.
Okay, so yeah, it's like a weird, like, black and white mirror of the house, but, like, out of the window that's in frame, you can see that it's just, like, you see like television static, but instead of it being, like, vertical, it's where the ground would be. And there's really nothing else outside. It's just gray expanse. And he kind of, like, gestures. He says, I mean, there's really nothing here. I mean, the
What
house.
happens if you open the front door?
He'll go and he'll open the front door.
So,
I mean-
so
Isabeau
okay.
is gonna time it so that they're opening the door at the same time.
So the door opens on both ends. You don't see Declan, like, you don't feel anything when your hand touches the doorknob at the same time. You do hear it open at the same time on the TV behind you, but you open the door to outside. Often, I think if you're looking outside at all, you do see Lottie and Cassie down just under a street lamp, chatting intensely.
All right,
I'm gonna say on
not-
screen when the door opens, that static kind of like takes more solid form, and like you see like the front porch and like the walkway immediately in front of it, but then everything other than that is still that kind of static, like hazy. Although you do see two like blobs of static. They're a little bit more distinct, about the same place that you see Lottie and Cassie like kind of down the road.
Oh, so Declan, if you're looking in that direction, this is not staticky for you. You see, it doesn't look like Officer Barker. It looks like a mass of writhing shadow tentacles with eyes where there shouldn't be eyes and mouths where there shouldn't be eyes. That is across the street at a bus station, and the eyes seem rather fixated on. You're not sure if it's the Lottie blob or the Cassie blob, but you do see Officer Barker in his real form.
Isabeau, tell them to run back to the house now.
Uh,
So
Lottie!
we'll cut back.
Lottie,
in the-
Cassie.
So Lottie, I've already told you that you see Officer Barker with some shadowness whirling around behind him, watching you, and actually I think I described it as he's watching Cassie in particular, and then you hear from behind you that.
Well, I finally get to use the latchkey move I took first. Haven't used it far. Come with me if you want to live. Once per session, when you and any other number of characters are facing grave harm, you can avoid that harm by narrating how you lead everyone to sleep.
Please tell me what you are doing in this moment.
I remember I was having a heated argument with Cassie, and I actually rolled a night move to protect her, and then I turned.
It was a mixed result. I think you failed and then mixed for the key turn.
Oh,
let me double check. Let me double check the rolls. Hold on.
I didn't do the key prompt.
Let's see. Lottie rolls. Oh, so Lottie rolled mild. I don't think you turned a key though. You just rolled a mix.
I didn't. I said I turned the key, but I didn't get to narrate the prompt.
Oh,
Right?
so we are owed a key prompt then. Okay, I wasn't sure.
However, I am totally fine with retconning it and just having to start off in a mixed situation. I am 100% okay with that because I was waiting to not derail the tension in this situation. I could still have plenty of heated arguments with Cassie where we compare our own baggage from our past.
Excellent.
You don't understand. I understand a lot of things about pain I've gone through because of my family. But this is the thing where speaking of Cassie, Cassie, don't turn around. There is something very. There is. Don't turn around.
I think like every classic character in a horror movie had turn immediately because you said don't look at the thing. So she will see the thing across the street. You can still your move will still trigger and you can still save her.
Yeah, Cassie. You were right. I don't understand your situation. I don't understand what you're feeling, but I do. But I need you. But you don't understand me either. You don't understand what I know about that thing right there, and why it wants you. And I need you. And you don't have to. And you don't have to trust you. You don't have to trust me as far as you can throw me. but you have to but you need to trust me as far as the distance to the house. Or you might never see anyone you care about ever again.
So, this is what happens before your move triggers. Cassie kind of extends her arm to you, like she is dead focused on the thing across the street, and that's when Officer Barker steps forward, and you see the second he steps into the street light, the tentacles vanish from behind him. It's just Officer Barker as you see him.
That's so good, Aaron. I love that.
It's just good old Officer Barker, and then that's when you grab hold of her and bring her safely towards the house.
Can I say that?
Yes.
Because it was a mixed result. Can I say I don't use "come with me" if you want, but by once per session, come with me, and then that's still a tense situation we have to get out of.
Sure, that sounds good.
Because no, I've convinced her to come with me. Now, how do we actually run away from that?
That sounds like
a night move.
I mean, you said I was going to give you a day move, but since you said night move, let's do a night move. This is fully vitality. I don't think there are any other options. You are trying to pull someone with you and speedily run away from an awful thing. So the night move with vitality. Let me check your conditions. I don't think either of them apply. So normal.
I have. Stranger danger doesn't seem to apply in this circumstance.
Actually, speaking of the fact that you took Elliot as a reward, I think you can probably resolve that condition because that's where it originated from.
And with the interactions I've had with multiple different characters, I feel like I should have had a nostalgic move at some point.
I think just because of the situation, the fact that you're the one who chose Elliot as a reward is a good enough reason for me to say clear that condition.
Yeah.
Speaking of Declan, you haven't had any eye stuff recently. I think it's probably okay to get rid of that watched by eyes condition. It hasn't come up since session 1. So
hooray.
You don't want to bring that back now?
I mean, there's plenty of opportunities when you roll like shit, Declan. Yeah. So, it might come back.
Rude.
Look, I speak the truth. What can I say? Yes, Lottie.
The thing I am most afraid of is that Cassie won't be fast enough. Because I know I can run. I can run from problems. I don't know what I'm worried about her. How is it worse?
It's worse than that. Officer Barker is going to get his little dirty tentacles in you, and I'm going to use the hold I have. Officer Barker is going to tell you to give Cassie to him, and you're going to agree to it. If you comply with this, depending on how you roll, I suppose, we'll come to that. But yes, that will be the consequence. Officer Barker is going to mind control you to give him Cassie. So, this is what happens.
Oh no.
Yeah, I have to narrate what happens still.
I know.
So, Officer Barker, one of his paw lands on your shoulder, Lottie. Turns out it's somehow you're too slow. And he leans in and whispers in your ear, it's like, come on, Lottie. You know she deserves to be punished. Just give her over to me. So, this is how this move works, Lottie. Where are my mysteries? There we go. So, if you do what Officer Barker tells you to, you will mark an XP. If you don't, I get my hold back. I have a feeling you're turning the key anyway. But for the purposes of this, would Lottie Would Lottie listen to Officer Barker in this scene? That's probably going to be retconned.
Oh, she would be. Okay, Lottie would be tempted to to put someone else in danger to protect herself, but and just give in to her worst impulses, but she would refuse.
Okay, so You refuse the compulsion, but Officer Barker, your first fear will still be realized. Since Officer Barker can't make you do it, he's taking Cassie himself. Would you like to turn a key?
I would like to turn the key for this mystery, the key of obedience.
Okay. So
How appropriate. Each latchkey narrates a flashback to when you caved to peer pressure against your better judgment and the fallout that resulted from it.
So, first, we rewind. Officer Barker doesn't get his paw on you, doesn't get his paw on Cassie, but you hear him say something to her. And for a brief moment, her eyes kind of glaze over, and then she's back running with you, and you both make it to the house safely. The complication is that Cassie has received a compulsion from Officer Barker instead of you.
Makes sense. Do we want to...
So, would if you'd like to do if everyone's ready to do this key now, we can do it now, or we can save it for later.
I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it now, as it's thematically relevant to this situation.
Okay. Whoever is Lottie, you sound like you're ready, so go ahead, lead us off.
No, I'd like Lottie to go last.
Oh, you want to go last? Okay. Who would like to narrate their key of obedience first?
I can go.
Go.
So, Declan is probably about 12. And at this point, he's only got his two. He's got Kevin and Dustin with him as he's walking home from school, and he's, like always, supposed to make sure they get home safely and kind of make sure that they get a snack and get started on their homework and all that stuff. It's a whole routine. But on that particular day, there's a new comic book has come out, and of course it's the thing that all the kids are talking about. And so a group of
Do you want a name of a '90s comic book?
friends. No, it's probably an X-Men title. And so like a group of people that are kind of nominally friends, at least at school, are kind of like ragging on him, like, oh, come on, you should go pick one up. And he tries to convince them to pick one up for him, and they all like refuse, like, no, if you want it, you're gonna have to come get it yourself. And ultimately, he kind of like tells his brothers, like, we're only a couple blocks from home. You guys can get there. And then he goes off with his friends. Nothing bad happens to his brothers, but his mom does come home from early from work on that one day, of course. And Declan gets hell for it. Like he ends up with a very sore butt. And he's grounded for like 3 weeks. All of his privileges are taken away. His mom takes the comic book and throws it in the garbage. Like it very much is a core memory for him as you don't neglect your responsibility to your siblings.
Great. Who'd like to go next?
So I'm looking. What is the key of obedience?
So narrate a flashback to when you caved to peer pressure against your better judgment and the fallout that resulted from it.
It's in the mysteries tab.
Yeah, it's the mystery.
Okay.
Dog told me to. Yeah.
I have one if we're ready.
Please.
I think it's gonna be like actually a bunch of rapid succession flashbacks, bunch of small ones. We see Kato and Bianca at a very young age. Bianca is nowadays she is a very curvaceous woman with a lot of black makeup and highlights, as well as just general goth aesthetic. And she's a singer for a fucking industrial punk band. But as a kid, we see just honestly, just a generic white kid, like generic white boy kid. Like the one that you had in your elementary school that just sat in the back sniffing like colored pencils. That was Bianca. And we see her and Kato. They are walking together, and Bianca points at something on the ground. And after a few moments of discussion, Kato, reaches over and picks it up and recoils as she got bit by some sort of animal. We flash forward a little bit, and we see her, Bianca, and their group of friends in elementary school. They're all surrounding another small girl, all kind of like pointing and laughing. And Kato pulls Bianca aside, and they start arguing a little bit before eventually Kato goes back to the circle and just kicks this girl in the gut. We flash forward again. They're in middle school, and we see Kato, Bianca, and this same group of friends, all very like cliquey, sitting at a lunch table, and they're all talking, and eventually the whole group starts focusing on Kato. And a few moments later, Kato is starting a food fight. And there are just so many of these sort of flashbacks that happen in a moment in Kato's head.
Hey, you got yours, Rachel?
I
Oh,
do.
beautiful.
So Isabeau had figured out from a very, very young age that if she wanted a better life for herself, she'd have to work hard, get good grades, and that was always sort of like part of her reputation. At least at school was she was, always in the library, always had her homework done on time, and so that's, why another group of kids on Halloween just pressured her to come out with them, pressured her to, engage in some minor vandalism, TP houses, smash pumpkins, that sort of thing. It got a little too far when they started damaging cars. And Isabeau and her friends were caught. And essentially, there wasn't a whole lot of fallout. Isabeau was able to talk her way out of it. And since, like first offense, all that. But the what if has always haunted her. Like, what if it had gone worse? What if there hadn't been any leniency? And yeah, just always wondering. One bad decision, you can lose everything.
All right.
And I know what Lottie's is going to be.
Let's hear it.
Lottie's is a flashback to early childhood. Should like kindergarten, like around kindergarten age, when because when you have recess or playtime, there's a tendency for the girls and the boys to form separate play groups, and Lottie decided, and one day Lottie decided to try playing with the girls. So that and there was a particular girl who I will dub Izzy, so it could be ambiguous as to who that was. As was actually very receptive and willing to play with Lottie, and at the end, for a moment, Lottie was able to play with dolls, and this girl, and Izzy thought it was cute that Lottie was a boy who was into girly things, but then the boys start making fun of Lottie, and for acting girly, and faced with the decision of what to do, she turns away from Izzy, decides not to be her friend, never talk to her again. never publicly and tried to hide the fact that she was into tried to hide thoughts she was having and desires she was having, and that was the start of a lot of denial and pretending. And that has been a memory that has stuck in her head of the time she gave into other people telling her what kind of person she would be and how she would be, and her just giving up something that made her happy because she was so scared of what other people would think of her. She knows and she wishes she hadn't done that. So now she's not gonna. So now that's a good reason why she's gonna. So that ties into her refusing to take the Faustian bargain, because she'll never do something like that again. And
All right.
least of all to hurt somebody else.
So, you have drug Cassie away from Officer Barker, though something might have happened to her. You're not sure. Isabel is holding the door open for you. Declan, I guess, is technically holding the door open for you in another world too. And you all pile in the house together.
It's like, I don't remember it being that scary at the PSAs.
We're gonna briefly cut over to Kato. Kato, you've just gotten a flyer from this tour bus that you didn't walk on at all and didn't end up in an operating room at all. I think I owe you a complication still, though.
No, the complication is that Dr. Cerulean is looming over me as I grabbed
That's right.
that medical dude.
That's right. Oh, we come to Kato. You've got the medical deed. You're looking over it, and then your eyes go up, and you see the blue scrubs and the blue mask, and he's just watching you carefully right now. What do you do?
That's a great question.
So, while you think, he speaks.
Just closes the door.
Oh, you just close the door on him? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, just like,
So I like this better. I like this better. The door is closed. So you hear his voice kind of, you hear his voice kind of muffled but echoing through the tour bus at the same time. It's muffled by the doors, but it's echoing behind him. It's like, Kato, I can help you. Just come to my table, and I can help you stop hurting people. Isn't that what you want? To stop hurting everyone around you?
Buddy, I didn't even know I was hurting people around me until about 15 minutes ago. You need to pick up the fucking pace.
You manage to be frustrating even when you're not when you are not in a scene with anybody else. You are bravo, Steph. Kato is so frustrating.
Oh, don't worry, Miss Fabiani. I'll have you under my scalpel soon enough.
Hi!
Kato is running away from the creepy fucking doctor, I assume.
Yeah.
Where are you headed?
Why would she be doing that?
It'd be fun. It's some free surgery. I mean, in America, free surgery. Come on,
right? I mean, honestly, she's just getting on her bike and driving back to the house. I mean, at this point, that mess is more tolerable than whatever the fuck just happened.
Perfect.
I love that as the rationale. It's like, no, nope, super uncomfortable, awkward social situation is better. Is better than supernatural evil. I love that as a rationale. I love that as a reason for Kato to come back after so many things fell apart.
All right. So, I will say timeline base. You can arrive at the house whenever you'd like in like the concurrent scenes, as we sort of resolve the cliffhangery spits. So Lottie, you've come into the house now. The TV is showing your house, but it's faded out as Declan described it earlier. I don't know if Declan is like in frame any longer, or if it's up. I suppose it's up to you if if the camera, quote unquote, on the TV follows Declan, or if it's just static.
No, it just shows the room that he's in.
Okay.
But he is off frame, having gone and opened the door.
Okay, sounds good. So, Lottie, there's a weird show that looks an awful lot like your living room on the TV as you come in. Panting, you might not even notice after what's just happened. Isabeau, I assume you closed the door behind you. Declan.
I just sort of imagine that as soon as like Lottie and Cassie crash back in, it's like run, 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 wham!
If you are watching to see if it is pursuing, either this is for both Declan and Isabeau. Officer Barker does not pursue after Lottie pulls Cassie with her. Just for clarification, you can do with that what you want.
Declan's still standing at the door, kind of watching.
Yeah,
this
thing,
whatever it is.
If he breathes a sigh of relief, thanks, Declan. Sorry, we went. Wait, what? Where's Declan? Because I imagine if Declan just says a very Declan thing, Lottie will look for him and be surprised.
Declan, I will say, if you're watching Officer Barker turns and sort of walks through the streetlight, and then you watch him slowly sink into the shadows as he passes out of the spotlight and vanishes. It's not spotlight, streetlight. That's what I meant.
Kind of lean out, and, like, look back and forth, and then he's gonna close the door and lock it.
On the TV, you hear a door close and a door lock. For those in reality. Kato, real quick for you. You're driving away from Azure Park. And you see, this is weird, a rather large man in a cream suit with his thumb extended, looking for a lift, looks like. You stop. You recognize him.
I think that at first she isn't going to until she realizes that suddenly there is a very large tan sidecar on her motorcycle.
Wonderful. I love that. So he leans over. He's like, Miss Fabiani, I've been meaning to reach out to you. You know, the deep desert's calling to me. I'm going to be going far from here soon. Sort of like something's been calling for you, but since she can't have you, she's called someone else.
There's a lot of people that could be about. You're gonna have to be a little specific.
He smiles and he's like, don't you remember the summers swimming in that lovely lake?
Yeah, I mean, kinda. Mostly like nighttime. Oh, never went to the camp, but whatever. Yeah, sure.
Perhaps that's what I mean. And that's who I mean.
With the lake?
I think what he's going to do. Sorry, one sec. I like this actually. He hands you something like This is weird. The flyer does not flap in the breeze while he's holding it. It is a missing flyer though for one of the kids that went, that vanished during the years past. The second it touches your hands, though, it immediately starts flapping in the wind while you're driving. So the clue will be that he is giving you free of charge for D. Blake Lurker is a missing poster for Declan's deceased sibling. Why am I getting finger wagged?
Yeah, I'm not wagging my finger.
No, Declan was wagging his finger at me.
Oh no, I know. I am fighting back against it. Yes.
Look, you're the one who started talking to your family again. This is your fault. Anyways, so you kind of glance at the flyer and are trying to watch the road at the same time, and then the sidecar is gone, and so is the large man. But yes, he has given you a clue. And more than a clue about what might be happening to a side character.
Neat.
All right, so we'll cut. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I think for now she's still gonna go to the house.
Okay, that is perfectly fine. So yes, we will cut back to the three at I almost said Escondido Street, wrong house. Rodenbecker, house on Rodenbecker.
Imagining there's a moment where Declan rushes onto the TV screen to make sure we're okay. Okay, and that's the moment where Lottie realizes it. Yeah, Declan, I'm okay. Are you? I mean, like physically, are you okay right now? Oh.
Should I unplug the TV? Would that
No.
kill Declan, or would it fix
No.
it?
No. It's like, hey, no.
Elliot and Abigail both kind of roll their eyes like he's not in the TV.
Maybe he's not.
No, I mean, if I'm in the TV, then technically you're in the TV from my perspective, and I don't think you're in a TV, so I'm pretty sure that means I'm not in a TV either.
That doesn't actually clear anything up at all.
I didn't say
well,
it did.
No, actually, it does. It does. Okay, so you're not in the TV, but somehow our TVs, where we are, is sending TV signals that the other TV is picking up on.
Think of it like Star Trek.
It's
like the screen comes on and people can talk to each other across the screen. Yeah, like Star Trek.
So that is is that how the...
Now, granted, I'm pretty sure even Star Trek had a better set production value than this place, but here we are.
Look, it depends on which era you've got. Era, they just have budget. Never.
Trust me, I'm stuck here. This is better than original series.
All right,
this is even worse than original series.
How do we get you unstuck?
Oh, I know exactly how. Like, I mean, I got here on purpose, and therefore I know how this whole thing happened, and I can answer that question. I have no idea. Do you think I just walk into the television and into other worlds on a regular basis?
Yeah. So we're
he stops himself from saying something very mean about the kids as he kind of gestures. He says, "Ask the kids. Like they know."
Elliot, do you know where the channel on the TV right now? You know where that's coming from?
So you can give me the day move. I'm torn. We'll call it. This feels meddling. Give me the meddling move with presence.
All right. Oh, that's not good. That might. I don't get advantage from being Elliot. No, Elliot.
Ooh.
No.
I would like to check my cell phone while this is going on.
Okay. I will get to you in a second, Declan. So
Yes.
mixed success. All
I'm
right.
happy with that. Yeah, asking Elliot questions about how this works and taking notes.
So Elliot kind of looks up and thinks, and
This will be when and Lottie hears about the lingo of the halfway place, the further off. It's so it's like it's like a beach, or you have the shallow, the deep, out to sea, and the land. In the land.
Elliot looks like he's listening to someone that isn't there. Like he's got his head craned and is listening. Declan, you also don't see anyone for the record. But he's very much body language is that he's listening to someone. And he says, I keep seeing an image of someone going some kind of sunken ceremony. I don't know what that means. That's what I keep hearing. And a duck, mate. I don't know. It's like a particular kind of duck. If I had like that one of those bird books, I could tell you what duck it is. But it's one. It's like a duck.
Hey, that's when Lottie flips over a coffee table book, okay, just on the table there in the later. It was just on the cover down, so nobody knew. Nobody knew what it.
Your clue in this case will be Elliot mentioning the sunken ceremony.
I remember a duck being bitten in half.
There was a duck being bitten in half as well. That I will tell you that's not what he's referencing, but
it was lengthwise, by the way, not. Sorry.
Yeah, that was the weird part. I remember we did lengthwise bit in half instead of width. So Declan, your cell phone is. Did you have your cell phone on you when you transitioned to the Chromatic Desert? Okay,
Yeah.
So it is on your person. This is a perfect opportunity since you asked about it. It is ringing, but it's like the number kind of fades in and out, like almost like the kind of washed outness of the area, the world you find yourself in now. It's your younger sister calling you. You answer?
No.
Declan is
Right,
Declan is the perfect straight man. I love Declan so much.
So it rings, and then call ends. One new
Declan will
voicemail.
do exactly what he always does, which is he will let it ring until it takes them to voicemail. He never hits decline.
Yes. So it goes through its long calling process, and then you see one new voicemail, probably like a minute or so afterwards.
Like he kind of like looks around at the situation, but there's not much he can do. So sort of like habit again takes over, and he'll listen to the voicemail.
So I will say it just clearly because I'm not going to try to do my like a static noise myself.
Yeah.
I will hurt my voice trying to do that. The gist of it is she's like, hey, I saw you called like in and out, and like basically like, there's bits and pieces missing. The gist is like your sister's calling to figure out why in the hell you even contacted them. Not in a bad way. It sounds like she's excited to hear from you, but like the big salient points, like there'll be moments where she'll be like clearly telling you what's been going on with her, and that's when it'll cut out. It's just like the yep, exactly.
It's like an 8-minute voicemail.
Yes, it is a very long voicemail of like her trying to play catch up with your voicemail since you didn't answer. But it's like the big kind of quote unquote reveals she would be giving you about her life go to static as you try to listen to it at the Chromatic Desert.
I think the important thing to note for anybody on the other side of the TV is that because this is again habit, and Declan forgets that there are people on the other side of the TV. He feels like he's alone in the room. He's listening to this on speakerphone.
Oh, all right. So
because
you all hear
that's why
that.
he does it. He doesn't want to like hold it up. He puts it on speakerphone and just kind of holds it while he listens.
The whole household minus Taco hears this.
He's like, ooh. And so after the message is done, and Declan, is your sister okay? Then you realize we all heard that.
Oh, she's fine. She's She always is. There's always something going on.
Are you? Oh, and is that the moment where Kato walks in with the missing persons flyer?
That is up to Kato and when she would like to arrive on the scene.
I mean, sure. I think that, if I may, Kato drives up and she goes up to the door and tries it, and obviously it's locked. So you all hear just someone jiggling the door on the other side. And for a moment, it stops as instead of saying anything, Kato gets surprised at seeing there's a knot tied around the door handle in a thick black rope. And when she tries to pull it off, it's hot to the touch. And she just kind of shakes her head and then knocks on the door and she's like, "Hey, am I like, did I get kicked out? Can I grab my stuff?"
Yeah. He's like, Kato! Door flies open. Flies open. Lottie drags you into the house. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, thank goodness. I thought the dog ate you.
Huh? We have a dog?
There's just brief hug. He's like, oh, thank goodness.
Whoa.
Anyway, then let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Declan, Kato's okay. Kato, we found Declan.
Hi. He was missing?
Well, he's still kind
You
of
lost him?
missing.
I, unlike everybody else around here, have stayed in the house the entire fucking time.
Okay, but
Why
you're
are you coming from the
clearly not
TV?
in the house, Declan. You're somewhere else.
Declan will kind of step back from the frame and kind of gesture grandly at the house
Yeah.
behind him.
Looks like the inside of the house.
This is no time to be passive aggressive about your supernatural curse.
So did we already talk about him being in the TV? Would that be rehashing?
It's an,
Should I just
it's an
catch up
ongoing
later?
conversation. It's an ongoing
Here's the notes.
conversation.
All right,
Here's
cool,
my notes.
cool.
Gotcha.
So I went to the park and got assaulted by a scary surgeon guy.
Not a tentacle.
Oh,
Well, I mean-
it's too bad somebody didn't say going to the park at night is a really bad idea. Where Kato is frozen currently is freaking classic.
Yeah.
It was
That
priceless.
was great.
And that would be Lottie was a.
I don't know what the fuck I just cut out on. Hi, my internet's back.
You
Declan-
had
Declan said
this
it-
position that was really like delightful, Frozen.
Oh, good.
Did you hear what I said about like it's too bad nobody said going to the park at night would be a really bad idea?
Did not, but now she's
Yeah.
like, you know what? I think I was a little busy listening to all the screaming from 50 different people happening in the house to hear. My bad. Anyhow.
I will say, Declan, because Kato did mention the doctor, you will also notice the blue mark on Kato now. That used to be on you.
That she hasn't even noticed yet, by the way, because she
Yeah.
hasn't fucking looked in a mirror, let alone on the back of her neck. Why would she
Beautiful.
look there?
Declan's gonna check the flyer
Uh,
to see if it's still Casey on the flyer.
I do like the notion of it changing, so let's roll with it. It does show Kato. The flyer has changed now even more, actually. It's Kato on a surgical table strapped down and the doctor getting ready to operate.
Mm-hmm.
Kato, have you seen a doctor?
I just said that.
Sorry, static. Actually, that was Ben just not hearing you say something about
Oh,
doctor. So
yeah, no, I mean,
Declan's
no, that's
gonna
okay.
explain it as static.
That's great. Yeah.
He's gonna like smash the thing up against the frame of the TV.
Oh, that's
What's on your neck? Right there.
hair.
Oh, great! Now you have the hickey.
What?
Yeah.
I'll have you know, I haven't made out with anyone since you made out with me. Okay.
No, the same hickey that was on Declan yesterday.
I didn't make out with Declan either.
Hickeys aren't contagious. It's not a hickey.
Yeah.
Anyways,
What's a bit
there's
like
some-
a-
I'm fairly
Okay,
certain I'm the only
hold
person
on,
in this
hold
house
on.
having sex.
my story's not done. I have the talking stick now. Okay. Okay.
I think
All right.
I think the picture is bad too. I don't see a stick.
Yeah, here it is, buddy.
Delightful.
and
I'm not even
and she says, "Sorry, I need to recompose myself and be awful again. One sec."
Okay, I will do this then.
Okay.
Isaba, while all this is happening, your phone buzzes again. It's like, hey, are you coming? I'm just gonna get in, and I'll see you when you get here, I guess.
Isabel, where's Chuck?
He's holds up the towel. We were gonna go swimming.
Swimming where? It's the middle of the night.
Oh, God damn it. Fuck. Okay. Now I really have the talking stick. Everyone shut up and let me talk. Okay, it's really important. I'm sorry I'm being rude right now. I get it. I'm a bad person. Whatever. Doesn't matter. What matters is that your boy toy and your brother is probably about to get drowned or whatever.
Excuse me?
So, I have the talking stick!
Lottie will actually shush. Will actually shush. Who will?
Hey, sorry. I'm really stressed out right now. A lot
If
just
you have
happened
the
in a very
talking
short
stick,
period
just
of time.
talk. Stop filling it with meaningless words. Tell us
Fuck.
what you need to tell us.
Fine. Okay. Declan, this. And she just holds it up.
It is the
Second of
fire
all-
of your missing sibling.
Second of all, this was given to me by the weird guy that came earlier, and except he showed up in a sidecar that I don't have. That's besides the point. He said something about the lake wanting me and not being able to have me, so it's going to take someone else, which I think is Chuck. And then also there was a weird knot on the doorknob, and it's hot. And also I found a deed to a medical clinic that has the same address as Station 25-5. We should save your boyfriend, brother, boy toy thing.
Not my boyfriend, but sure. And so Isabeau will send a text
Noting
back.
the lack of objection to boy toy, though. Got it.
Isabeau will ignore that remark and send a text back saying, "Don't go until I get there." Wink, wink. And then
There is no reply.
hops into her Audi and drives straight there.
Hey.
No brother of mine getting drowned by a lake monster. I'm
Yeah,
coming too.
she will give a ride to whomstever can catch up or keep up. But yeah,
He's been quick on her feet tonight.
So this, if we're all going to Deep Lake, or I will ask the question: is everyone going with Isabeau to Deep Lake currently?
Can Declan even get to Deep Lake?
That was going to be my second question. Are
It's like,
you
how do I
holding the
get-
door open for Declan to get in the vehicle, or how are you dealing with Declan coming along?
Here's a very stupid plan. Lottie picks up the TV and carries it with her.
that will unplug it. We will
Okay,
lose
Lottie
contact
gets
with
out-
him.
Lottie gets out her laptop. Gets out her laptop and puts that in the car.
I will ask Declan: are you trying to get into the vehicle? And that's how we'll resolve this.
Is that a question for Declan?
Yes. If he is trying to get into the vehicle,
He could also just get on the back of Kato's bike as she gets on hers.
that would also be interesting. I like that as well. But yes, Declan. Does Declan think he can go along, or is he just gonna?
I mean, I think so. Declan has the disassociative condition,
Yes.
and he just saw a missing persons poster for his very definitively dead younger brother. I don't think he's really considering like jumping in the car with the posse.
Okay.
If anything, his first instinct would probably be the same thing as like when he was a kid, which would be, I need to get somewhere right now. Get a bike from the garage.
Okay. I like. All right, I like this. I think we can just say there are definitely bicycles. It is a small town, so it would be reasonable. There are bicycles. You also have adopted some children now who probably also have bicycles. I'm not going to make you ride a child's bike, even though that's very hilarious to me.
Elliot, hey, I left my
like that
bike in the
scene
other
in,
dimension. You can use it.
It's like that scene in the Goonies.
Yes, I was lit the fucking same brain, man. That's exactly what I was thinking of, the Goonies bicycle scene. Anyways, so uh the Isabeau and Lottie are riding together, I assume. Kato, you're taking your motorcycle. Declan's taking a bike. Oh, Declan is busy. That's fine. And you're all headed to Deep Lake.
And Lottie will try to get a hold of Chuck. While Isabel's driving.
So before we go on break, I'm going to call for, I think because this is sort of Isabeau's blow toy, I think that's who I'm going to be asking to roll for this night move. What's Isabeau's afraid going to happen if she doesn't get to the lake in time?
She is afraid that Chuck will be drowned by the time she gets there.
It's worse than that because we've established that whoever gets drowned replaces the last one drowned. So not only will Chuck drown, he'll be the new thing that's drowning people.
Oh, shit.
So, I'm gonna say night move with, oh, this is tricky. Composure to just because you're speeding, I assume? That feels right.
Yeah,
Because Vitality doesn't make sense. You're driving a car.
She's trying very hard not to freak out.
Yeah.
Yeah, composure sounds good. So yeah, night move with composure.
And this is right after.
Let me check your conditions.
Right after she had right after she had such a crappy, epi argument with him, all over.
No, you're marked by patience does not apply here, so you are
Okay.
fine. Roll normally.
Yeah.
Fortunately, my composure is 2.
Speedy.
Mild success.
Right.
Oh, thank God for that,
You
too.
wanna-
So here's
to make it a full success.
here's what the so you'll speed to Deep Lake. You'll get out as Chuck is about to jump off the pier. You will run towards him, pull him back to try to save him, but fall into the lake yourself.
Okay.
The complication will be that Steph will be losing the condition next victim, and Isabeau will be gaining the condition next victim. Are you happy with that, or would you like to turn a key?
What would the condition next victim do?
So it's variable. It depends on the moment. Like if you roll mixed successes, I might have the lurker show up and try to do something to you. Much like
Also-
Mark. Yes.
If you look at the pure white signal on Kato's sheet, it changes the pure white signal
Yes.
if you have it.
Yes.
So when you have the last victim, instead of you lose contact with this world altogether and the White Odyssey tape, you find yourself walking to the banks of Deep Lake, and your feet do not stop even when your head dips below the water and you can no longer breathe. Then you play a White Odyssey tape.
It has fun narrative things, and then also changes how you die if you mark the pure white signal.
And because of our game, it also kind of implies that now you're the fucking lurker.
Yes. Yeah. So whatever character Isabeau would be the new one drowning people. Yeah, until the mystery is resolved.
I think I'll turn a key.
Okay. So you tell me what happens then, because you narrate. Which key are you turning? Also, I think is the Deep Lake key still available, or has that been turned?
It is.
Yeah. So you can
the
turn
shutter.
you can do the Deep Lake specific key, or you can do any of your keys.
So... Alright. So, I will turn a key of the child.
Okay.
A flashback to when you experienced childhood trauma. And so this will unlock, if we can rewind a little bit.
Sure.
Isabeau has Lottie in the car, and is just sort of dissociating. And so tells a story about how you know why I like your brother so much is that he never treated me like I was different. You know, everybody just saw, oh, it's Isabeau who, uh, the no good drunk dad, and the mom who was always running a scam on someone, and you know the only thing that keeps our family afloat is her cousin sells weed and worse outside of our double wide. But even that's not enough to keep me from having to wear duct tape on my shoes every day to school. And everybody saw Wonder Bread and Kraft cheese sandwiches, and that's all you had for lunch. And or you could get the subsidized lunch, but then that bitch of a lunch lady, she always made sure that everybody knew who the poor kids were. And sometimes it was this family, sometimes it was that family. It was always my family. We had one good Christmas one year, I remember, because we got a lot of presents. And I was so surprised and happy, and I thought maybe my parents are finally figuring out how to be people. And you know what? I would have rather it would have been like other Christmases where I got, if I was lucky, a pair of Walmart socks, because for the rest of the fucking year, no one ever let me forget that we were the town's charity project that year. Charity always comes with a cost, but brother treated me like a person. He was always nice to me. And somehow, like, he always knew that I didn't have money, that my family didn't have money, and he was always able to pay for dates in a way that didn't make me feel like trash and didn't make me feel like I owed him something.
Brava, that was amazing. So, Rachel, you have upgraded this to a full success, which means you tell us what happens. How does Isabeau save Chuck from becoming a victim of the Deep Lake Lurker?
So she just drives up, uh, car brakes, squeals, like does a J turn almost. Isabeau sees him at the dock about to dive in, uh, and she just like yells out like, Chuck, wait! And so he looks and he's happy because she showed up, and then looks really confused. What is my sister doing here?
Don't jump! The lake's haunted!
And I think that's where we'll go to break.
Okay.
We will be back in 10 minutes for our dusk and night phase, which I doubt is going to be an Odyssey tape, just given where we are narratively. So
No.
yeah, look forward to a real night phase, everyone, in about 10-ish minutes. All right, welcome back, everyone. When we last left off, Isabeau had just saved Chuck from being taken by the Deep Lake Lurker and then becoming the Deep Lake Lurker. So let us move from day to dusk quickly. I don't think there's any key prompts we need at this point. They've been resolved. Now I'll ask, would you like to answer any questions for the mysteries that are currently active? So eligible is, let's see. You have 3 for Deep Lake Lurker, so you could attempt to answer Deep Lake Lurker at a -1. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 for Officer Barker, which technically you can roll at +1 for one of the Officer Barker questions. Or sorry, Dog told me 2 questions, or to -2 for the second option. Station 25.5, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 still. Okay. So the first question is only complexity 2, so very easily answerable. And then, depending on what you answer that, the other 2 are complexity 4. So you'd have a +1 to, or no. Yes, you'd have a +1 potentially to one of those rolls, or, yeah. So I'll put it to you now. And I'll ask just because I'm supposed to. Are we there? I can make it work if you want to watch an Odyssey tape. You do have one available to you. I'm going to assume no, but I can make it work if you want to.
I'm all right on watching one. I'm good.
I'd rather solve a mystery.
Yeah, I'd rather solve a mystery. I don't think we're gonna have time to get to an Odyssey tape, so that's fine.
Yeah. Okay,
So
you'll...
Do we want to answer the threshold question for Station 25.5?
Yes.
I think we should answer that one at least.
Okay. So, is Station 25.5 from this world or the one beyond?
Okay, what do we do with? Are we going to answer this before we resolve what's going on?
So
with
the question's the answering the question is very meta, above board play.
Yeah.
We will still be picking up at Deep Lake with Chuck and deal with that, and then you can kind of do whatever you want with the night phase. But as in terms of just the meta stuff, you can answer whatever questions you like, and as many as you like.
So, the answer that I would want to give is Station 25.5 from this world or the one beyond. Kind of inspired by Elliot's answer, is that it's able to exist in both realms and can broadcast into both realms. So when Elliot was like, Declan is like, he's in the middle place. Like, that's where Station 25.5 is.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I actually was going to suggest something similar.
Same here.
Technically both. I kind of envision it, because of all the clues having like a distinctively medical theme to it. The idea that this was someone's attempt to sort of take the concept of like antidepressants and like things like that and create something that was more wide-reaching. So like this station, this music station that, you know, broadcasts music that would put a smile back on your face and everything like that. But unfortunately it took a very sinister, kind of nasty turn. And I'm not banging on the drum that like mental health medication is bad. It's generally really good stuff, but it's not a catch-all like miracle pill.
Plus, Station 25.5 just sold bunk shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But like the original intention was that it would help brighten people's day, put a smile back on their face, and there was something done to the station that kind of linked it to this doctor who, in much more literal terms, would put a smile on people's faces.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking I was thinking the same kind of thing where the station and I was actually figured Dr. Cerulean started off as a real person. Because all the information we found, it seemed to indicate the medicine, the clinic, even the doctor running a practice, that was a real thing that existed, and had people involved in it. But now they've been pulled into the other world, or sent themselves, or decided to go there, and now that's where they're getting that's how the paranormal is. That's how all the paranormal stuff got started.
So, what clues are you going to use for the first question? Honestly, a lot, pretty much based on the answer I've been hearing, you can choose almost any of them for that. So, just tell me which clues you're using for that question.
Like the
I-
package
The
works.
deed
I
to the medical
feel-
clinic.
Over to the medical clinic?
I was gonna say the deep blue crystal thrumming with energy is
Mhm.
like
Oh, how it's
the-
linked to the other world?
It's the transistor, essentially. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going
That
to
works.
suggest, do we want to do a +0 or a +1?
Yeah, really the question is, do you want a +1 on the first? So I'll tell you above board, if you roll a +0 and you fail this roll, it just means the other answer is true. So you will still unlock the other question. It will just be the opposite one of the one you answered.
Yeah.
So
There's no.
in
there
in
isn't-
terms of gaming the system, you probably want to do +0 on the first question
Yeah,
and
that's what
+1
I
on
was
the
gonna
second.
say.
Yeah.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, so 5 or yeah.
So now the
Sure.
question is, who would like to roll to answer the question at a +0?
I just rolled, so not me.
I feel actually, you know
mean-
what? Kato has feeling blue. I think Kato should roll.
Yeah, definitely not
As long
also
as it's
because I
not me
wrote it.
rolling, I'm cool.
Look, if you didn't have feeling blue, I wouldn't have picked you. So
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Well,
Kato,
She
please
says
roll.
as if she wouldn't suggest it herself.
As we
Rude.
learned from One Shot streaming Invisible Sun, games are magic. Magic. They just.
All right, mild success.
Yes.
All right, so I will say, because you have decided it's sort of in a halfway point, the complication here will be that I assume we're kind of still leaning towards it's from beyond as far as what the next question will be, even though we've decided it's a halfway point. So I will say the complication here is that by answering this question and sort of deciding it's still tied to this reality, Dr. Cerulean has fully manifested in reality. He's not in the other world only anymore. That will be the complication. So, since we've decided it's from the world beyond, what summoned it here is the second question that is unlocked now. And then that will give you the option to resolve the mystery by revealing the secrets of Station 25.5 to Lisa Cortez, the original police officer, and then perform a ritual to banish it. Back.
Do we want to answer that question now? I'm okay with Dr. Cerulean continuing to menace us. That's why we answer a different mystery.
You,
Well, I
I mean,
mean-
you can answer as many as you like. There's no limit, technically.
Yeah. And just because we answer it doesn't mean it's done yet. We still have to go
Yes.
and resolve the thing.
Exactly. You still have to go do the thing.
True.
So you can answer the question if you like.
I'm down to answer. That sounds fun. I'm
You're-
a little bit hesitant to add too much to the explanations and stuff because I
Yeah.
feel like I'm cheating because I wrote it, even though
Yeah,
I know
yes.
that's not how it works. I still
I
feel
personally-
bad about it.
I personally want more lore. I want her to explain what's going on, and I'm totally fine with you in character having that because Kato has had enough encounters with Cerulean and also feels blue.
I would say Declan has as
So-
well, and Isabeau is
Oh, yeah.
Isabeau and Declan and Lottie actually have all interacted with the station directly.
All right. So
Okay.
I have a possible answer
Okay.
for what causes it to manifest its paranormal properties. It is the hack medicine. It is.
Is
It is-
that the question, or is it the what's?
I mean, I technically the way you answered it, I'm fine with allowing you to use either. So if you want to use the "it's from this world,"
Sorry to interrupt. I just wasn't sure. What
no, yeah. So either one is fine by me because we have decided it's a half. Well, you've decided it's in an in between thing. So either question I think is available for you to answer.
So I will say I will suggest that the hack medicine that we find is actually alchemy. And the reason it doesn't work is because, so it would work if people understood how to translocate properly. And that's how they would avail themselves of the full efficacy of the medicines.
That's not bad. Essentially the plan is to make fake medicine real with totally with totally not bad side effects. You just have to plug your brain into this.
I mean, it'll totally work for Declan right now. It'll be everything the package says it is.
You know, I was very curious to see like what I was gonna do if Declan went to the Chromatic Desert with Feeling Blue. That would have been something.
I have a related but probably alternative proposal
Okay.
that even with all the supernatural stuff, the fake medicine still doesn't work. It never worked. It was never intended to work. It's all it's all a con. It's all just to convince people that this is something they need when it's not. It's all just to convince people people to fall for for essentially for a fake disease, is to like make people fake, just make people not trust anyone but Dr. Cerulean. And trust no other forms of medicine except him, and he'll just eat up their money and lives, all to human motivation, or even beyond the pay, even beyond the mortal realm. He's still trying to extract value out of people for no evil.
I have a question about the old radio clue. Where did we see or find that?
So Kato found that in the garage of the house on Rodenbecker.
Okay. I actually like Rachel's idea that the medicine did work, provided you had the right stuff. And kind of a combination of, I guess, Rachel's idea and Jane's idea, where the medicine did work if you listened to the radio station, you bought one of the Cerulean branded radios, like you buy into the merchandising sort of in order to have all the right things that you need in order for the medicine to work. And then, just it went off the air and people stopped listening, and so therefore there wasn't anything there. And then we showed up at the house in Rodenbecker Street. We find the radio, and we all have things that we need to be less sad about. We all have reasons that this medicine could be really helpful, really beneficial to us.
Dr. Cerulean just wants to help.
Yeah, exactly. And we found, or like we listen, several of us listened to the Blue song. So I think that us showing up and starting to look into things and kind of dredging up all of our crap is what summoned it.
Nice. And that makes sense as well as to why the poster was Casey at first, because he was like Deep Lake's biggest sad boy.
Yeah, and he was the one who came to us first to be like, I need your help with this.
Yeah, and I guess the portrait of Cerulean on the wall would just kind of be signifying like, yeah, this is my shit. This is my place. I own it.
Yeah.
All right. I already made Kato roll once, so I won't again. I think because Declan previously had Feeling Blue. Declan, why don't you go ahead and answer a question at +1?
I don't want to roll. So the number of clues found is 5.
5 clues total, yeah.
And
it is complexity 4.
Is 4. Yeah, I didn't want to roll.
So
this is why I don't like to roll.
Here's the thing: you can turn keys to bump this up, but everyone has to turn a key.
What if we turn a key for the Deep Lake Lurker? Since that key technically applies to everybody.
That will be one key turn for a person. Yes, everyone else will still need.
No, that's
Also,
And
you
it's a
can't.
li- yeah,
You can't
it's- it
turn
feels-
a key for a different mystery.
Yeah,
you have to turn it
even
if
though you're
investigating
directly
it.
like while you're
I don't see
answering
that
this,
rule written down anywhere.
it's technically not. That is fair. And I guess you technically are engaging with the mystery, but it feels a little whack to use a key of another mystery for a different mystery.
Are you trying to min-max a story game,
Listen,
Ben?
it's not written anywhere. That's all I'm saying.
So if everyone would want to turn a key, you can bump this to a mixed success. You don't lose the clues, by the way. It just means this answer is wrong, and you'll have to wait to answer it again.
I would like to hear your reaction first.
Oh, I this feels lame on my part because of where you are right now. It's my reaction won't. Something's
Yes,
off.
no.
Actually, I know exactly. Here's what's going to happen. You have mentioned that the radio was found at the house on Rodenbecker Street. So Dr. Cerulean has been to your home. You have left those children alone with Casey.
I'm turning
Oh,
a key.
shit.
Yeah.
So
Turning a key.
all right, I'm glad I didn't need to elaborate further what was going to happen. So everyone's volunteering to turn a key?
Yes.
Yes, everyone needs to turn a key, and we'll bump this to a mixed success.
I be knowing what's gonna happen. That's just scary.
Fair enough.
I'm going with the Fathomless Well.
Ooh,
Okay.
I am turning the Wandering Monolith.
Oh, you can now talk to the big man whenever you like. I will say in layer 2, the big man is on the outskirts of town. I will reveal that to Isabeau in character. Probably as like a coda to tonight's session. I think I'll do that for Isabeau. That sounds fun.
I'm marking the key of the child. Flashback to when you realized your parents were imperfect.
Okay.
Just gonna say sensitivity 2, baby.
I mean, you're in the chromatic desert. It tracks. Laddie, which key are you turning?
I was thinking of the same key as Steph was.
Okay.
Do it. That's good. We can get two of the same one and see that side by side. That's a fun comparison. I love that.
Yeah, and I'll ask if you.
But I am tempted by the Fathomless Well as well.
And those keys of desolation just keep going on down. It's fine. It's fine.
I only have 2 left.
I mean, you technically still mark them in order, Declan. So
I know.
You still have Wandering Monolith, and then
I only
The
have
bad
2
one.
left.
I'll above board. I'll tell you I've dropped clues on how you can clear the unchromatic desert condition. So.
I don't want to lose reason. We're a little short. Our team a little short.
I mean, that's the point of the game: is you slowly go crazy.
We need more
so-
than one person in the group who can think straight.
So,
But Lottie's gay.
Need to-
Woo! She's back, baby.
I will say it was a mixed success still. The unwelcome complication. Trying to think here. The unwelcome complication will be that when you go to perform the ritual, you will need to deal with Dr. Cerulean while you perform the ritual.
That's not a
Just
complication. That's just good writing.
I mean, that's sort of what complications are in PBTA. Not that this is technically PBTA. Whatever, we don't need to get in that discourse. Okay, so if you two are ready to do your keys, otherwise we can save them for later and we will hop into the night phase. Up to you both.
I'm good. I got it.
I'm down.
Go ahead and do your keys then, in whatever order you like.
I'll go first. Smash cut. Kato's room in one of her old apartments. They're yelling again. Doesn't matter what about. Not to Kato, not anymore. They've done this ever since they caught her watching TV Odyssey again 3 years ago. They banned her from watching it when they caught a glimpse of one of the more colorful programs hosted on the public access TV channel. They always tell her it's not her fault, but she knows they're lying. She's seen the pictures of them from before she was born. They were happy, had nice houses, lots of pictures of them going out on the town together. That never happened anymore. At least not that Kata had ever seen by now. It's okay, though. She has her Walkman, her headphones, is perfectly willing and able to drown out everything around her in blissful ignorance. She places the headphones on, loads up a random cassette from her collection, presses play. Horror quickly dawns on her face as she realizes she must have recorded over one of her cache tapes. The only sound that plays is discordant screaming and accusations of her being callous, detached, rude, and most of all unlovable. The screen fades to black. We see a single tear highlighted on the screen fall to the floor and cause the screen to ripple.
Hey, Lottie.
Okay, you've inspired me. I'm changing what key I'm turning to a flashback to when you first discovered TV Odyssey. I don't want to do I was going to do a flashback to some childhood transphobia. Nope, this is so much better. Nope, I want to do something. I want to do something supernatural and creepy.
Okay.
The day she was the day Lottie discovered her TV her TV Odyssey it was one of the days she has Home Alone and watches anime when without any of her family there to judge her or the weird things it is awakening in her. But there was one day where that channel was out, where the usual where her reception was very bad and none of I think it's appropriate for it to be a rainy day. Pretty rare in Nagoya County. Everything's fuzzy, cutting in and out, and now she can't hear what any of the characters are saying in through the static, and she's really frustrated because at this point in time, Ranma 1/2 is her outlet. It's something that is helping her contextualize the feelings she doesn't understand in herself, while she's still in denial. And so she starts flipping through the channels, channels, and each one she sees, she keeps seeing couples and super stereotypical masculine and feminine portrayals of people as she flips the channels, and just makes her angrier and angrier. And then she switches to TV Odyssey, and it's coming in crystal clear. And the very first thing she sees is a show that involves several children in mortal danger. Several children in mortal danger, screaming, and one of them doesn't survive. And then, but all the other kids, "Don't hug me, I'm scared" style. All the other kids say this was a lesson, and they deserve to be punished. They were punished. We are all punished. We have proven ourselves, and that oddly helps Lottie relax. That helps Lottie feel seen in some way. And this totally out in this way that a person resonates with outsider art, where it's this is just nothing I've ever seen, and this is an expression of edgelord nihilism in a way that she's never seen before, and there's something comforting about that. Also because she had seen some anime that were way too old that kids should not be watching. So she was already jaded. So she was already jaded enough to violence and gore. And that was how she discovered TV Odyssey, as he sort of interpreting it as a horror story, as a horror story where so much misery and pain is on display, it makes her feel seen in all the pain she's experiencing but can't define.
Okay.
And, and that's our flashback. We cut to the. I love that we cut to the present. Is there like going?
We cut to the present. Isabeau has saved Chuck. Chuck is bewildered. Like, what? What's Cap? I think probably Kato probably arrives on her motorcycle shortly after. I will say the well, never mind. We'll let this play out. Chuck's like, hey, I thought this was just going to be you and me. To Isabeau.
I am about to sound like a crazy person,
Okay.
but the lake is haunted.
Quizzical look. And so we can't go swimming in it?
Not in this lake. No, never.
All right, I guess. What's like? I assume Lottie hasn't approached yet, because like Chuckle just leaning quiet. Like, what's? Why did you bring my sister here? This is gonna be weird.
She just jumped into the car, and I didn't. I just.
Your brother shoots you a kind of irritated look, Lottie. You're not sure of the context.
Is it, oh, and she turns around. She just looks away. The way she thinks she thinks Chuck signaled they're having a moment. They would like a moment. She gets back in the car and faces away from them. She can't.
Okay. So, while this is going on, I think Declan, you'll. I think distance works different in the Chromatic Desert. We'll say, so you will arrive to the deep lake shortly after Kato.
Lottie turns on the radio. She really hear Declan.
And you already kind of narrated this yourself, I think. So, as you see three latchkey blobs you're familiar with, because you kind of described them as they're sort of staticky blobs to you. I think as you get closer, they get more into focus, and you see Chuck is still very much alive and well. And I will say, out in the middle of Deep Lake, you do see a different sort of staticky blob as well. And then off from where the cabins are, you see another one slowly approaching. And as for you who are not in the Chromatic Desert, you see a flashlight kind of bobbing up and down as it walks towards you. Because screeching tires in the middle of a night at a fucking campsite will draw attention. So someone is coming to investigate you all being here currently. The scene is yours.
Lottie will intercept them. She knows her brother is safe. That's good enough for now.
So the flashlight is shined directly into your face, Lottie. And you hear a female voice. Hi, I'm not sure what's going on. Is everyone okay? The flashlight will kind of like go towards where the vehicles are. But so it's not in your face anymore. Lottie, you recognize Emily Beaumont, the one who put you onto like the weirdness with this camp in the first place.
Emily. Emily, it's us, the Latchkeys.
I didn't agree to that name.
She's Kato. I am the party face at the moment. That's out of character.
So as she kind of like gets a better view of everyone, she'll look around and she's like, "Oh, where's Declan? I thought he was with you."
He's with
in that
us.
moment, Declan is going to have texted Isabeau to be like, "Can you tell? Can you tell Chuck to get the hell out of here?
Declan just texted me.
No, I texted Isabeau, actually.
Isabeau. Okay. So
Yeah,
Isabeau, the text comes through with like some like you can parse the message, but there's like webbings inserted between letters and stuff. It looks like a little bit of a mess, but you get what Declan is saying to you.
What is Declan saying?
Can you tell Chuck to get the hell out of here? And in the Chromatic Desert, where nobody can hear him, he's like, everybody's bringing their fucking boyfriends and girlfriends, and this is just gonna get people fucking killed. Like he's like
Kato,
ranting at his phone as he's typing the message.
Kato, are you still on your bike?
Yeah, I think that like as Emily was shining the light over, it just like caught the reflective visor. So that like ominous scene of a scary motorcycle biker in the darkness wearing all black leathers, and you just see the reflection.
So you will hear Declan, like it sounds like a radio that's like a little like too far away, but you hear Declan's voice come through your radio and can not fully pick up what he just said, but Declan's ranting does come through your radio, but very faint.
I like it. Do that.
She nods approvingly.
Okay, well,
I mean, I'm happy you're looking into this still, but
the lurker was about to eat my brother. We had to stop him from going for a swim.
the lurker. Okay. Like, okay.
Well, you wanted us to figure out what it was.
Yes, of course. I'm sorry. It's just you. I haven't talked to you all since I showed up to ask you to look into this.
And that, you would not believe how busy we have been, and I wish we could have devoted all of our attention to the lurker.
Lottie, I literally have to watch children at a camp. I think I can understand how busy you might be.
There are 5 children at the house on Rodenbecker Street right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We shouldn't be comparing who has it worse.
Why? You have kids if you don't? Do you have? Who has kids?
There's
Me, I do. They're mine.
Kato, I think I'm gonna ask. This is not. I know it's night phase. This is not high stakes though. I would like the day move though.
Yeah.
With presents. What are you afraid is gonna happen if you fail?
didn't have to say that, Kato.
Well, she's feeling called out. She's the one who took on the responsibility of the kids, and so now she's like, "It's me. I did it. I did it. It's me. I did it."
You are called out.
Yeah.
So I feel like you're taking responsibility. So I don't know if I want to impose a disadvantage on you for it. It feels like you're going against called out, actually. So I'll let you roll normally.
Ooh. Okay. Presents?
Yes, day move with presence. And what are you afraid is going to happen if you fail?
Yeah. I think... I mean, honestly, I think that at this point, Kato is worried that yet another person is going to start hounding after her, like romantically.
Oh, okay. Yep. Sounds good.
Because this seems to be a theme for her.
Yeah. Trying to get a harem in public access. I see. Let's go. I like it.
I don't know about trying, all right?
All the campaigns to have a love triangle in.
All right, I've seen some actual play summaries, and it happens all the fucking time, okay? This game has accidentally horny.
It's a Jason Cordova game. What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly. But that's why I put...
Yeah,
so yes,
it's not
please.
an accident. It's probably not an accident.
Move with presence, please. Yes. There it is.
Whoops.
So, Emily will be like, "Oh, okay. Wow. Kind of. Even though Kato's, because she's still wearing her helmet, right?
Yeah, I imagine that when she started talking, she took it off and probably did the same like fucking hair swish thing that always
Of
gets
course.
every lesbian ever.
Yes, of course, 100%. And she'll be like, "Oh, wow, you look so young. That's really impressive."
Thanks.
You know,
do you
it's
But they're not biological children. We're taking care.
Wow, they're not even. Wow, that's so you adopted a bunch of kids at your age. But that's, I part of the reason I do this is because I feel like it's so important to help foster the youth. I can't believe you've gone so far as to adopt some children at your age. I'm sorry, maybe I shouldn't have seen your age. You just look very young. That's all.
Yeah, I'm actually an ancient immortal from the ancient Egyptian times. I was a mummy. I got unearthed, and so now I'm here taking care of kids. I'm King Tut.
Oh. I actually was very interested in Egyptology when I was in college.
I think that's the weirdest response that I've ever gotten to me negging someone.
Lottie's just rolling her eyes at this point.
So, anyways, let's Isabeau, you have gotten a text from Declan to get Chuck out of here. What are you doing in response to that?
We should just go.
You're muted,
Lottie...
Rachel.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to roleplay whispering.
Sorry.
Good old McGuffers.
Yeah. So, we should just go. I think Lottie can get a ride home.
Oh, okay. He looks a little coy. Your place or mine?
Mm-hmm.
Yours. She'll just slink away.
Chuck will follow wherever you are planning to take him. Where are you planning to take him now is my question.
Not the house, because there's way too many kids for that.
I do want to add a detail that if Lottie has a chance, she will briefly hug her brother. Chuck Victor is here, okay? Okay, I got many children to take care of. You go with.
This is about Snotty. Since Isma's slinking off, and then Lottie intercepts to hug her brother. Chuck will say to you, "Worst cock block ever, sis. Thanks for that." And then it's a very terse hug. And then off Chuck goes with Bo.
So on the other side of the Chromatic Desert, Declan's watching Chuck and Isabeau blobs leave, and he's like, "What? You've got to be kidding me!"
You told me to get him out of here.
Yeah, to send him away, not go with him.
I mean, what's the easiest way to get a horny 20-year-old to leave? Let's be real.
At this point, Declan is stuck in the Chromatic Desert and is feeling very frustrated. So,
like the audience,
he's going to walk. He's gonna walk over to the water's edge, and he's gonna shout Jessica's name.
It's hard for you to make out, but the blob turns to acknowledge you. You're at the edge of the water. I will ask the same question I will ask you every time you get near the water. Are you going into the water?
No.
Okay. So it will the steady blob will move closer, and this is different than the how quickly it sort of materializes. It is so does not come all the way to shore, of course, but she does move to where they have I believe I described earlier, there's safety buoys, do not swim back out past the way.
Yeah.
She'll come right to the buoys and you can see her clearly. It is a transformed Jessica Stowski, as was previously described in the answer to your question.
Oh, actually, I am genuinely curious. What does Jessica look like in the Chromatic Desert? Because we have a
that's right. I have established you see them in their true form.
I would be totally fine with Ben coming up with that if you don't want it.
Yeah, I don't mind at all if you want to tell me what she looks like in the Chromatic Desert.
I'm very confident it'll be worse than what yours. It'll just be worse.
Say that all I read is cosmic horror.
Um, I think she looks like obviously she looks like waterlogged. She's soaked to the bone. She looks exhausted more than anything. She's not like a corpse or anything hokey or cliched like that. She looks like she did when she went missing, with the exception of the fact that she is she's just completely weary, and she's lost all hope, and it's like she's along for the ride and knows she can't make it stop.
I will add there is a level of desperation in her eyes.
Yeah.
And you can see her staring at Kato with that look of desperation.
Declan's gonna say, "Did you send Kato the flyer for my brother?"
She shakes her head.
You weren't trying to lure her here, then.
She'll nod.
Is my brother still down there?
I think I'm gonna ask for the meddling move here.
Okay.
Since you're not trying to win her over, you're just interrogating her. I think reason is going to be the role.
Oh, it's not sensitivity?
Oh, actually, yes, sensitivity. Yes, we would call it sensitivity. You are dealing with something of the other world.
Something I'm good at. The meddling move is what you said, right?
Yes, meddling with insensitivity. And
I feel like the dissociative condition would probably play in here. As much as I
Yeah.
hate to say that for myself.
yeah, I was about to go look at them, but thank you for reminding me. Yes, I think you are dissociative, so your reason is probably not awesome. So yeah, you will roll at disadvantage. Hey.
Oh, it could have been better.
So here's what I'll describe happening. She smiles and you hear her voice in your head saying, "Come here and I'll show you." And on this miss, I think you want to see what happened to your brother. So you will walk into the lake and you will get the next victim condition, and Kato will lose it. That will be your miss. There'll be a follow-up night move to this, but that
I'll
will
take
just
that.
be the okay. No one sees this happen. But Kato, you lose the next victim. Declan, you have gained the next victim. So, Isabo, you are driving Chuck back to his home. And he's like, "Okay, so can you walk me through that?" Just kind of gestures broadly to Deep Lake as it sort of fades into your rearview mirror.
Oh, fuck.
You're muted.
No, I'm just role-playing whispering
Oh,
again.
Sorry,
I gotta...
no worries.
Look, fuck. Alright, do you remember there was this old public access show when we were kids?
Uh, the one that burned down, you mean?
Burned down?
I will say above board, out of game. That is what most people in the town think happened. TV Odyssey.
Okay.
Um, yeah, yeah. You know,
Yeah, that one. So I came back here after I had a breakdown. That's not really the point. Um, came back here to try to get my head on straight, and I thought, hey, maybe I should connect with, like, one of the things that was actually great about my childhood, which was watching this old public access show. And so these tapes, these VHS tapes, they're showing up, and they're weird. They're really weird, and they're not what I remember them being. And at first I thought it was like, oh yeah, nothing's the same as you remember it, like it was when you were a kid, right? You know, like Mickey Mouse used to be 8 feet tall. And so I don't know what's going on. There are children in my house who are 10 years out of time. One of my housemates is either stuck in the TV or stuck somewhere where we can only use the TV to communicate. It is all very weird, and I do not know how to explain it.
so Chuck is processing all that, and he's like, so it was this weird TV station that brought you back then? That's his big takeaway. Um,
No, God. Okay, that came out wrong. I came back for a lot of reasons. And when I came back, I thought I should do something here that I used to enjoy doing as a kid, and that was watching these old TV tapes.
eh.
And yes, and now you're here, and I'm here, and we are clearly going to go back to your house and spend the night together. But I'm not staying here. And you're not leaving. And I think we should probably establish that before anything else happens.
I think I'm gonna ask for a day move here.
Okay.
With presence, and since Big Dad was kind enough to redeem malevolence,
Oh no.
some male violence, you're gonna roll the day move with disadvantage. So presence, day move, disadvantage. What are you afraid is gonna happen if you fail?
So she is not afraid that he will break up with her, because that would be a very clean answer to the situation. The worst outcome is that, like, this gets just more complicated and feelingsy and messy.
Yeah, sounds good. Go ahead and roll.
That's a miss.
All right. He's like, you know what? Actually, why don't you just drop me off here? I'll walk home.
I'm not okay. You know, I'm not gonna make you walk home. I'll drop you off. I won't get out of the car.
You're not making me do anything. I'm asking you to let me out here so I can walk home, please.
Okay. All right, fine. Just
You've got kids to look after and whatever weird shit's going on with your friends, right? So I'll be fine.
yeah. Fuck. Fuck. I'm sorry. I've been a mess. Yes, I will let you out. She pulls over. Just text me when you get home so I know some forest monster didn't get you, okay?
Sure, I'll do that. How's Isabeau feeling after being the one rejected this time?
That was gonna be really good sex, and now I don't get to have it.
If you turn a
Oh,
key, you unless you turn a
Key,
key.
Oh god, I've turned so many keys this game. I think Isabeau will just like sit in her feelings and like try and convince herself that everything that she said was like true and for the best, and she's like, yeah, but I told him I wasn't going to stay here because I'm not. I have an apartment and a job that I am going to get back to. And he's got his own business here. He's not gonna leave, and yeah, fuck it. Maybe it is all for the best that we stop it now before it gets any weirder. So she's just gonna sort of like have like 5 minutes in her car, like having this conversation with herself, before she turns around and drives back to the house.
Okay, I'm gonna. I think the condition I will imply with this, or give you with this, miss, is denial. A bit of denial, like that. That you'll be in some self-denial mode.
Okay.
She's-
I wondered if you were
Speaking
going to
of-
turn marked by patience to marked by Chuck.
Oh,
I like the patience storyline for what it is.
Okay.
And I don't want
doesn't-
Isabeau's whole storyline to be about her weird relationship with her ex.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Total. Yeah.
yeah. So I
absolutely.
think this is just a little like, me. I'm trying to think of a better term for what this is. Maybe denial's not the right one.
Will they? Won't they?
Oh, that's kind of a fun condition. I like that. It
No,
feels-
they
it
already
feels- it-
have.
it-
They
Yeah,
already
they
have. It
already
doesn't work
have.
anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone knows once it's happened, you can't get the ratings
Hey,
Ooh,
back.
self-doubt.
hey.
Self-doubt's good. I like that.
What about
Okay.
what the Chuck?
What the Chuck? Yes, that is amazing, Steph. That's what it is. Done. Done deal. Well done. Love that. Okay. So,
Speaking of conditions, should I have taken Marked by Emily Beaumont as a because I missed?
oh, it was a miss, wasn't it? Okay, so
Yeah.
you lost the next victim, marked by Emily Beaumont. Yeah. I'm not sure that's a bad thing, but we'll make it a bad thing. God, Toxic Love has been stuck in my head all night, even though that song has nothing to do with toxic love and everything to do with pollution. It's a very horny song.
It's just hey, nostalgia. It's relevant, especially when taken out of context and twisted to do a new four.
All right, so speaking of Emily Beaumont and that, we're going to cut back to Lottie and Kato. Emily appears to be a little bit ignoring you now, Lottie, is focused on Kato. So the seat is yours. You're both of yours for the moment. I would say something about Declan walking into the lake, but no one can see that. So
Can Lottie see Declan's reflection?
I will ask you for because all right. I'm torn here because it's very high stakes if
I
it's
don't want
already
to
high, it's
stop
already
the
high stakes for
condition.
Declan, but I don't know that it's high stakes for Lottie because she doesn't know what's going on. So I think I will ask for a day move with sensitivity. Let me check. And I might just say disadvantage because you don't really have a perspective on what Declan's up to. You don't even know if Declan's here right now.
Oh boy,
I might-
this is gonna be rough. Disadvantage and -1. How does it go? Not great.
Well, I was gonna ask you what are you afraid is gonna happen if you don't.
What am I afraid is gonna happen? I guess what I'm afraid of is that I won't be. Is that I'll be in the dark. In all the meanings that can be interpreted, that can be interpreted, and that Lottie's gonna feel like she's in the dark. She's not gonna.
I'm gonna use my keeper privilege here and say that that's probably not. I mean, that was already gonna be the case no matter what, even if you hadn't tried to see the reflection. So I think the worst thing here is depending on how Declan's night move plays out, you'll see the bad end if it happens.
Uh,
You'll see it in gruesome detail
Yeah,
if it happens.
yeah, I think the way we can compromise that she sees his reflection, but she doesn't react. She doesn't. She freezes. Freezes just sort of sheer.
Here's my compromise. You'll see a blobby, not defined reflection and kind of assume it's your own. But the real consequence,
reflection that looks like TV static.
the real consequence will be that you will get to experience Declan's end if that happens, in vibrant detail. So, Kato, Emily approached like, sorry, I got distracted by the King Tut thing. What are you looking into the weird shit now, or?
Yeah, have been always.
Okay. What have you found out so far?
That your best friend turned into a scary lake monster, and she's trying to kill pretty much everyone, really.
Like the kids?
Yeah, I said everyone, right?
Okay. Okay.
Like she was a kid when she drowned. You realize that, right? Like
I'm very fucking aware of how old my friend was when she died. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. You didn't really seem like it, considering how you were just now like, oh, it's attacking kids. No shit.
No one's. I was just worried it was going to happen again, but nothing has happened yet. You know.
Literally everything has happened. Literally everything has happened. You have no idea what you're talking about, and honestly, I think it's kind of weird. Just not even that necessarily. You know what? No. What's really weird is that you just saw some random ass fucking chick who said, "Hey, I have kids," and then you started fawning all over her for no reason. Did you even see that my motorcycle literally has coffin sponsorships on the side of it?
What does that have to do with anything?
I think you have made worse decisions in your life than I have to come to this point. And that's saying something, hon. If you're interested in the person who's driving around with coffins on her motorcycle, that's fucked up.
I mean, or maybe I'm mature enough to know that the coffin regalia is a front to scare people off.
You're literally not even right. It's a sponsorship. I did it for the money.
Even less reason to be scared, and actually a little sad for you that you sold out so hard.
No, actually, pretty cool. I like having money.
She'll turn away from Kato. So, I'm gonna go check on the kids real quick. Do you? I guess either of you want to come with, or do you know what, maybe you should have stayed with your coffin bike. Actually, Lottie, do you want to come with me to check on the kids real quick?
She's gonna look at she's gonna side eye Kato of like Lottie's gonna give the exact same glare she gave to Kato before when she her cast. See how like it was clear Lottie was not just angry but disappointed in Kato for being mean. And she gives the same glare. Sure, Emily, I'll help you out.
Hey, before you go storm away again, you should know that I'm going back, so if you don't want to walk, you probably shouldn't leave.
Hey, Isabeau took the car.
And I'm taking the bike.
I know. I already decided to be stranded. And before your ultimatum.
Look, if you're gonna be stranded, just go. I'll help you out.
Lord, yeah, Lord knows everybody could use a little more help around this town.
I think as Kato starts driving off, she just shouts, "It wasn't an ultimatum. It was letting you know I'm leaving with the car."
Or or that sure sounds like a threat to me.
Turn over the shoulder.
Yeah, she can't hear me anymore. anymore. So is is it are me and her better or worse than the kids you deal with?
I mean, look, some people never grow up, and that's okay. I mean, it sounds like she's doing some responsible stuff in her life, so that's I think maybe I don't. Who knows what people are going through, but I'd love to. Maybe I can talk to her again sometime and maybe like make it better. Is that like?
I know the feeling. Sure, of course. Come by Rodenbecker anytime, and
Oh, great! I absolutely will.
I know.
Did you
but-
seriously just
but
we
call-
can fix her?
Yes. Why do you think Lottie was attracted to Cutter in the first place?
Fucking so many disasters in this game. I love it. So, Emily leads you to the thing wrong in mystery. That would be helpful. Lottie leads you to a cabin that has a loon plastered on it. And she kind of quietly opens the door and like leans her head in. And there are 4 bunk beds with 4 sleeping girls in there. She shushes you, Lottie. There are various like girl supplies scattered around the cabin, but here's a weird note. There's an old TV and a VCR on a rolling stand in this cabin. So let's paint the scene, shall we?
Yeah, it was like, what? It's like, what's wrong? I had a bad experience with TV recently.
Jessica supposedly
with
slept
a friend
in
in a
Loon.
TV. With a friend in a TV. Go
Jessica
ahead.
supposed slept in Loon cabin. How do the girls currently staying here show that they would rather be sleeping anywhere else?
Hmm. I bet.
If I may,
Yes, please.
they have crafted a little sorry, I want to make sure that this wasn't previously like established in the description. Okay, this looks like it. They have crafted a pillow and blanket fort with like the couple of the cots and the mattresses. Like they are, but this isn't like a cutesy little fort. This is like very clearly, we don't want to be here. We don't feel safe, and so they've crafted a space for themselves to feel safe, and they're all sleeping in it.
I will say that one of the very small details is another cell phone that one of the girl's parents gave to her, and the call log has a lot of calls to a phone number saved in the address book as home, but they've just never gotten through. And she's called like every 15 minutes trying to call home, and the calls just aren't connecting.
I like the idea that this is sort of a subtle thing, but a nightlight. It could be like a It could be like a lantern. Internet. I think it would even make sense as a flashlight, but something where there's just a little bit of light there while they're on while they sleep, to indicate they were afraid to fall asleep. They were afraid to fall asleep, and even the light is and they just and that's what they needed in the space where they don't feel safe.
I think that there are, in addition to like the pillow fort, I think that we see outside of the pillow fort is like, you know, using smaller like throw pillows. They've made like a little watchtower, as if this is not a pillow fort, but a pillow fortress, a defense installation.
I like that yes and of Declan's. Yeah, that's good. All right. So, Uperian, the girls seem fine. Emily seems satisfied. I will note that you have unlocked the Deep Lake Lurker special place to watch videotapes, Odyssey tapes, by the way. The special will come up if then you watch them there. So, for our last scene of the evening, Declan, you've accepted the beckon of the Deep Lake Lurker, Jessica Stowski. She's apparently promised to show you your missing sibling in whatever state they're in. You wade out deeper and deeper and deeper. What are you afraid is going to happen if you meet her at the buoys, the end of the buoys?
That when he gets out there, or that when I get out there, my little brother Jordan will still be under the surface of the water, like still fighting, struggling to get back to the surface, and that he's been caught there the whole time.
I'm going to be real. I don't think putting your death on the table is worse than that. So I think that's just what it's going to be. Like, she's not going to claim you yet. But you will have to know that she has your sibling still sort of alive, forever drowning. And that will imply a condition on you. I'll come up with a clever name. But let's call this the night move. Sensitivity, again, I think. You are the next victim, though. So I think I will impose disadvantage. Holy shit!
Holy shit!
You rolled 2 6s and a 5.
Wow.
That's well fucking done.
With +2 from sensitivity. Okay.
It is your scene to describe, Declan. I will sit back and give you the bonus when you're done.
Yeah. Oh, Ben, go Batman. With this, Declan gets to be awesome. I know technically you're closer to dead man, but the principle applies. It's the principle.
I think when Declan gets out to the line of the buoys, Jessica is kind of standing there waiting, and she gestures like down towards the bottom, the center of the lake, and like through the weird kind of coloration of the chromatic desert, Declan can kind of see to the bottom, and there are indeed like remains down there, but at this point they're just inert bones, and when Declan gets there, I imagine he's probably like up to his neck in the water and everything like that, whereas Jessica is standing sort of not really walking on top of the water. It's more like she's floating because like as the water moves, like she kind of rises and falls with it. Um, and as he gets there, and he's kind of in the water with her. Um, Declan's gonna reach up and take her hand, and he's gonna say, "I'm so sorry you've been here for so long."
Even though she's dripping wet, you can still see the tears form in her eyes. And she'll say, "Please stop this and set us all free. Declan, only you can do this. The advantage I'll be giving you mechanically, when you go to answer the Deep Lake Lurker question, you technically can't do this, but I'm allowing it for this really ridiculously good roll with disadvantage. You will roll answer a question with advantage, and you will also clear the next victim condition.
Okay.
I will say the rule still applies to Deep Lake. If someone else sets foot, if Lottie or Isabeau set foot in the lake, they will still gain the condition. Kato is immune because she has already had it.
Okay.
But yeah, make a note somewhere that when you answer the final question for Deep Lake Lurker, you will roll with an advantage. And I will say Declan has to roll it.
Noted.
Oh, okay.
What are you going for? You just rolled a massive success with disadvantage.
That's true. Declan would like to ask one last question. He is going to say, where does the sunken ceremony have to take place?
She reaches out and touches your temple, and your vision your body stays still, but where you see moves with you, and it goes to the center of the lake and drops below. And you know that this was not always a lake; it was once above water. And there is a ritual site at the bottom. So whoever wants to complete the ritual has to dive down to do so.
Okay.
Which will be you.
And is, out of curiosity, is the ritual? You might not be able to answer this question, and if not, that's fine. Is the ritual the one to cleanse the lake, or is it the one to reset the chromatic desert?
So the chromatic desert thing is, I will tell you, it is tied to the special rule to watching the Odyssey tape in the Loon cabin.
See. Okay.
That's just for above board. So yeah, the ritual is completely separate from that. But if there is a thing that happens if you watch a tape in the Loon cabin, that will let you clear chromatic desert and another key actually. So I think that's where we're going to, unless anyone else has to add, we're going to end our session on time for once. I
think it would be really cool if we could have one more scene
Sure.
of Kato getting back to Rodenbecker, and I think she wants to talk to Cassie.
Okay. I will facilitate this scene then.
Though we
Please.
can also do that in the next one if that would be more juicy.
Okay. I was gonna say Cassie might not be there because she did get compelled by Officer Barker in a previous scene, but I am fine to allow the scene to happen now because next session she's going to have done the Officer Barker thing. So let's do it now.
Okay. So I think that she probably headed home after all of that, and everyone left, right? So, Kato's gonna go to her window and just kind of tap on it, and when she sees that it's her, she's just gonna you can see that there's a very somber look on her face.
Cassie lifts the window up. Hey.
I'm sorry.
For?
Being a shit human. Treating you like I treat everyone else.
Okay. It's, there's a lot going on right now. I guess it's okay.
And this is not tied to a role, but I feel like it's too. I think this moment is too narratively perfect to not. I would love to mark a mask for just narrative purposes.
Okay. I feel like you deserve something for giving that up though.
I will redeem. Give me a trinket. So there you go. You can feel better about it now.
Okay. Technically, you're not supposed to do that for games you're in, Steph. Trust me,
Oh.
it is I have 40k points in Rachel's channel. It is a nightmare that I cannot spend them because I'm in so many games.
Listen. I'm not spending them. You are. You're spending my points.
So I will say the thing is you will get to resolve the called out condition, because you would come to apologize, and she'll hand you the clue that she was kind of concealing from you earlier, and she'll be like, "Look, I'm sorry, I was gonna." I know why you hit him with your bike. You were doing something nice for me, even though it's a little fucked up. I won't say anything.
So this is a flashback to when she experienced childhood trauma. She, I think, reaches out like through Cassie's window and grabs her hand, completely ignoring the clue that is being handed to her. And she says, "There is a bigger reason why I am the way I am. When I was 11, I was walking back to my apartment, and we see the scene sort of transition. It's the dead of the night. 11-year-old Kato is walking back to her apartment as sneakily as she can muster. It's clear she wasn't meant to be out this late, as she mutters under her breath, "Gotta be quiet. Mom, freak out. What did I... Oh yeah, the window." For her movements slow, she stops in the midst of the sidewalk. She looks around, trying to figure out where she is. Panic begins to set in on her face as she realizes she has no idea where she is. Frantically, she begins running down the sidewalk, looking for street signs or anything that she might recognize to orient herself, but everything is just wrong here. The writing on the street signs, billboards, and even words on newspapers flitting through the empty streets were all printed on backwards. There was a fog that cut her visibility down to only a few dozen feet. The buildings beside her seemed to loom threateningly over her. She stops after a few minutes, exhausted, or realizing that the moonlight isn't what it should be. Everything around her, even herself, had a faint purple tinge to it. As she looked up to the moon, she was horrified to see a gaping singularity tearing the horizon asunder, devouring everything in its path, warping reality around it into itself and growing ever closer. She screamed so loud her voice gave out at that moment before turning around to run from the black hole. As she turned and ran, she only got a few steps away before running face first into something leathery and firm. She fell backwards onto her rear, looked up at the thing she'd stumbled into. It was a large winged creature with a deep maroon hide that looked like tanned leather. Its head resembled that of a squid. Instead of tentacles, there were chains made out of static that swirled around its face, obstructing it from view. It let out a sound that sounded like that of an emergency broadcast warning before unfurling its massive wingspan and grabbing Kato with its 3 sets of single-digit appendages that revealed themselves. She shrieked, sobbed, and tried her damnedest to fight back against the creature, but it was no use. It carried her, flew her toward the singularity, and Kato could see her body and the creatures being stretched and warped from the gravitational pull, but she felt no pain as it did so. She cried out once more for help as the thing plummeted them both into the gaping maw of the black hole. She woke up then, in a hospital bed surrounded by nurses and doctors, as well as her mother. As her eyes opened, so did her mouth, and she began to scream in abject terror. She didn't stop screaming for hours, even after her voice was gone and her throat was raw. It would be months before Kato's voice recovered from the scream that lasted 2 days. Her mother said she'd been missing for 4 weeks. Everyone had assumed the worst. Kato was presumed dead. Her funeral was to be held a mere 3 days before she showed up on the doorstep to her mother's apartment, covered in a fine powder of mercury, battered and bruised alongside a single deep maroon talon clutched in her arms, comatose.
Damn. That is some trauma. So
That's not trauma. That's a Magnus Archives episode.
it sure is.
So you just no, that's amazing creepy. That's an amazing creepy pasta monologue.
So before we end this session, we'll have a brief coda here. Isabel goes to bed and sees the big man in the desert, and you don't see yourself, Isabel, out here, but he's addressing you directly, and he's like, "If ever you need anything, you know where to find me, dear. I will warn you, though. Every one of those tapes you watch brings the station closer, and with it will bring untold terrors that you and your friends will have to face." And then Isabel wakes up, and that's where we'll end this session. Thank you to our audience and players. What a wonderful fucking session this was. I had a real good time.
10 out of 10, no notes. This was the perfect follow-up.
I had so much fun. So let's go around one last time. Tell people who you are, where they can find you, and then stars and wishes, please.
I don't really have any specific wishes. Stars, obviously, the whole thing's always good. Like, it's a little bit roach to just kind of repeat that every week, but I mean, that's where we are. It's always fun to see what people come up with and how Aaron rolls with stuff. So thank you for a great game. Yeah.
Pimp
I think I'll
yourself.
leave it at that.
Pimp yourself. Pimp
Oh,
yourself.
yeah, right. You can find me on this channel Monday nights at 6 for Dragon Age, at least for the next few weeks, before that arc kind of wraps up. Obviously, I'm here on Thursdays, starting probably next week, on another Twitch channel, All on the Table RPGs. I'm going to be running a Marvel, well, it's not a Marvel game, it's Marvel Saga is the system, but it's going to be a superhero RPG. That'll be every other Thursday, probably at 5:30 p.m. Keep an eye out for that. I'll probably talk more about it next week too. But yeah, you can also find a recorded superhero game that I'm running in the same universe as the Thursday stream on YouTube. It's the YouTube channel is the Transverse, but that is also going to be shooting off to All on the Table RPGs on YouTube as well. So yeah, I think that's probably about it for tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Hey, I'm Jane. I'm at Trekkie140 on all the socials, including Discord and Mastodon. Mastodon. That's stars. You asked me to choose between all of you. Everyone was in top 4. I loved Declan. I loved Isabu. I loved Kato. But, they were. I guess the biggest star is everyone hitting the exact right balance between characters being trash and making terrible decisions, but reeling it back just enough where I'm still in love with all of them, and I totally get why they are the kinds of people they are, and I'm rooting for them, and I can totally see what is. I guess my single biggest star, how incredible, how we just fulfilled my wish from last week of we came back together, we picked up the pieces, and we did it fast. We did it in the first half of the session super quickly, and I bought all the reasons our characters came back together. If I had to pick one single person to give a star to, it would be Aaron, just for being in absolute top form, running with everything we throw at you, including me, like from the very first scene where I kept changing my mind on what keys to turn, what moves I was performing. Hey, can I not? Hey, I actually like this complicated too much. Can I not use my special power that would immediately get me out of the situation? So now you have to improvise on what's going on. And you just rolled with all of it. And you had and you did that with everybody. But that was a particular scene I felt like was big highlight. I keep changing my mind of what my character is doing, and you yes and every single one, every single time, perfect. Wish for next week, more like this. Okay. There's a. I guess it's a. It's a. I wish for more. I guess if I had, my wish is we do resolve a mystery, not just answer a question and straight up we close out one of the three mysteries we're currently with. I would like that to happen next session.
Rachel.
All right, hello. My name is Rachel. I am still on Vibes pretty much everywhere. Yeah, you can see me tomorrow for Blade Runner. Monday, as we begin the finale for Dragon Age. Should be good times. You can also come back on Monday for Fringeworthy, and I try to stream Dragon Age on Wednesdays when I'm not really sad and upset over hearing about BioWare firing all of their talent. What the fuck? Anyway, my stars and wishes, every scene that I was in was great. I am looking forward to what will happen next. I want to save Declan. I want to get him out of the chromatic desert. Yeah.
He's fine. Look at how much fun he's having.
None of us are having fun.
I hope everyone's having fun. Otherwise I
Oh.
failed.
Players are having fun.
Oh, okay.
Characters are suffering.
That is the step.
Yeah, suffering, real life and death, like soul-wrenching stuff. I mean, Isabeau didn't even get laid this session.
It's so weird. Kato's like getting the harem, but has not banged anyone, and Isabeau has just one ex that keeps getting laid.
Well,
Hey.
not now.
Well,
We'll see
and
what
not
happens
this time.
next week.
Yeah, we'll
like
see.
all harem protagonists, Kato does not want the attention.
But anyway, sorry, Steph. Go ahead. Pimp yourself and stars and wishes.
Yeah, my name is Steph. You can find me under the name Steph Infection pretty much anywhere. I had a whole lot of fun tonight. I want to do stars and wishes before I shout out all my shit, just because I had a great time. Rachel, I loved all of Isabeau's scenes with Chuck, and I also really liked the monologue to Lottie. That was really fun. It was great. I really enjoy seeing the different aspects of Isabeau sort of come into play while still all tugging on that core theme of being an impoverished child. I think it's really cool to see all of that sort of coming together. Jane, I really liked similarly how very like not necessarily past focused Lottie was, but how like past things were very clearly influencing her decisions and the decision making as far as like regarding what you had narrated with your masks. Like it's very clear to see at least so far like the thought processes that Lottie would be going through based on everything that's happened to her. I think that's really cool. You're doing a great job with her. Ben, Declan is great. Declan is awesome. He's the one character of this show. The rest of them are well, we're here, but we're not necessarily great.
If this were a
Declan's-
Monster of the Week game, Declan would be the chosen.
Yeah, Declan's great.
Declan's a bit of a cinnamon roll, even though he's deeply like flawed as well.
Yeah, it's great. I love that kind of like winning by default, if you will. Like I am the least outwardly immediately fucked up to everyone, but I'm still pretty fucked. Like, I love that for him.
He wants to help everyone, but he doesn't want to have to help everyone.
Yeah, right? He's just like me for real. And Aaron, again, just all of the reactions to everything were super good. I really fucking adore both Emily and Lottie being like, yeah, we can fix her. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's the funniest shit.
I mean, like, what, both of you? It's like, is there a problem with that? I mean, if you're not okay with it, you can just awkward. Just make it more awkward.
So many people are trying to fix Kato, even Dr. Cerulean.
Right? Even the scary supernatural evil people want to fix her.
That's gonna. Hey, well, we learned from last session. Well, have you grown up at all? Is he horror, though?
But yeah, as far as other stuff goes, I like wishes. I am probably honestly gonna meta a little bit in that I really want to interact with a side character that I wrote because I think she's great and I want to take her as a reward. So I'm gonna shoehorn her in any fucking way I possibly can. Because are you goddamn kidding me? So that's my wish is to figure out a way to organically make that happen instead of just being like, hey, can she show up? But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see everything next session. As far as stuff that I do, you can find me pretty much anywhere except for Twitter and Instagram. I don't use either of those. Fuck them. And also Facebook for obvious reasons. But yeah, I'm most active in the Gauntlet community's Discord, and I am currently working on an SCP-inspired Car from Brindlewood game called Site 42. The first extended playtest of which is going to be happening through October and November. Aaron's going to be there. It's going to be a great time. I'm going to be recording the sessions and posting them to my YouTube. So once that's getting going, I'll shout that out a little bit more directly. But yeah, you can look forward to that.
That just leaves me. Let's see. I'll just do the me stuff first. I'm Aaron, as usual. She, they, they pronouns. You can find me tomorrow playing Blade Runner, as Rachel mentioned. I'll be playing my disaster character there. And I have recordings coming up, but they're not released yet. So I'll just, if you follow me on social medias, it's literally, if you see Great Cthulhu, it is me. It's almost certainly me. And I yell my shit everywhere, and I will pimp your shit too if you're cool. Yeah, I think that's all. And then obviously I'll be back here Thursday to play this lovely game again. Run this game. Run, play, same thing. Stars and wishes. Oh man. Declan, big stars for talking to the Deep Lake Lurker. I did not see that coming. I loved how it played out, especially that for no, like, the odds of you rolling that well on that disadvantage roll are absurd. I'm not a math queer. I cannot calculate them. It led to something really fucking cool. I'm happy you played out that way. It was a really great scene. Steph, always a big star for playing a disaster character, much akin to one I would play. Loved the last scene. Loved that fucking key turn. Oh my, that was spicy and weirdly plays into what I had already kind of been scribbling about TV Odyssey Mystery.
I want that in the recap in as much detail as possible.
So it's Steph, if you just want to post your thing in the public access chat, you already sent it to me for reasons. Lottie, big old star for just you're like such a hero complex. It feels like you are trying to save so many people, and it's
not good at it, but she's
no,
trying.
just real shit at it. But damn, does she try? Yeah, and I just love how hard she ships Isabeau and her brother, even though it is doomed to fail for so many reasons. And then Rachel, god damn, I love Isabeau so fucking much. I love how she leans into her most worst instincts all the fucking time, even though they're usually well intentioned, but it's just bad instincts that are well intentioned. I especially love like your place, not mine. There's kids there. That fucking line was so. Best kiss. Just goddamn, it was such a good session all around. I like last session. I was like so pleased. This session like is even better. I hope it continues this way. That's my wish, is that we just keep like every session I'm more and more like enthused and fucking stoked about like the wild shit you guys throw at me. Because as I mentioned to you in the break, I'll just tell the audience as well. I prep almost nothing for this game. It's almost 100% improv. So the wild shit that comes out of my mouth is just in the moment. And so the stuff they do is, yeah, it's always new to me, and it's always fun to like bounce off. And yeah, I just love this table and love running this for you all. So yes, hearts to all of you, as well as stars and wishes. Yeah, I think that's it for us. We will see you all here next week, or if you want to tune in for later on, you should. It's fun. Or any of the other games here. I will see you there. Good night, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, internet.